I mean, the reality is that our elected officials have very little power relative to the bureaucracy until DOGE. So DOGE is a threat to the bureaucracy. It's the first threat to the bureaucracy. Normally the bureaucracy eats revolutions for breakfast. This is the first time that they're not, that the revolution might actually succeed, that we could restore power to the people instead of power to the bureaucracy. We're reprogramming the matrix. Like, success was never one of the possible outcomes. It's a Kobayashi Maru situation. If you're in the matrix, success was never possible. The only way to achieve success is to reprogram the matrix such that success is one of the possible outcomes. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We may or may not succeed.
Well, it's certainly a lot of fun to watch. Yes. This is a very exciting time because nothing changes when administrations come into power. Very little changes. I mean, you have changes in terms of policy and inflation goes up and there's a lot of different things, but not like this. Like, these are giant fundamental changes. And, you know, you see the system screeching and wailing and you see the vampires run from the light. But it's very exciting. Like, as a person, a citizen, you know, just gets up in the morning and checks the news like I do and gets on X and sees what's going on. Every day is like, holy shit.
There have been other people that have been intercepted on their way to kill Trump.
Yeah.
So there's multiple assassins inbound. At this point, he's got like an army protecting him.
Well, this is also part of the problem with the mainstream media saying that he's Hitler. When Joy Reid had that show before the election, she was comparing him to Mussolini, shows Stalin and Hitler. She pulled it all out.
They're literally saying that like Trump is worse than Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin combined. I mean,
they tried everything.
I think those guys killed 100 million people. So Trump has killed 0 people. So,
I think a real big impact was you coming on the podcast the day before the election. I think that had a giant impact. That plea to the camera. If you don't vote this time, this might be the last time you get to vote.
Yes.
And I think the way you laid it out today is a compelling argument. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. And they're up in their they got their blue panties in a bunch right now. But you got to stop thinking that way. They tricked you into thinking you're in a tribe. They don't give a about you. The tribe's not real. You're not really in a tribe. They're using the fact they've got you in a tribe to manipulate you so that they can keep doing what they're doing right now, which is siphoning off money, having incredible power. And the more power and more money and more control over you they have, the better they can keep doing this. And that's what they want.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and that's the big threat that this administration poses. That's a big threat that was essentially DOGE has found the coffin where the vampire sleeps.
Yeah, there's a lot of vampires.
Yeah, I mean, but
we're disturbing the
nest.
The nest, yeah. We're kicking the hornet's nest.
Yeah,
like big time.
I'd say big time. I'd say extremely big time. I'd say that you're not just over the target, Elon. You're firing on the target, and the target's freaking out. So in case you haven't been paying attention, I don't know, for the last month or so, I've been telling you, I don't know how many other people, but I know I've been telling you, we are in the midst of a civil war. And I said, nope, not like muskets and cannons, and there's no weapons being fired, but we are most assuredly in a war. And so today, proverbial shots have been fired. There has been a huge attack. And a lot of people aren't talking about it, not just on X. I'm not sure if you guys realize, but Rumble is the alternative to some other people who have video platforms, and Rumble is under attack as well. I mean, I clicked on Dan Bongino's show earlier, and Dan Bongino usually has hundreds of thousands of people watching, and it was going in and out, and it basically killed his show for the most part. I think they had like 20 or 30,000 people versus his normal hundreds of thousands of people watching. I just checked on my phone. I asked my software, put this on X and go ahead and put this on Rumble. And Rumble, it caught part of it. It's still running. X, not even there. It can't even connect to go to X. I've heard many stories from people today who can't do anything on X. It's amazing how many people got shut down today because they didn't have an alternative and there was no place to go. Yes, you just can imagine the millions of dollars, yes, millions of dollars that are being lost by this attack on X. But it's not an attack on money. This is an attack because they don't want us talking. So what you need to understand is whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying, whatever you're posting is working. It's working. If it wasn't a threat, they wouldn't bother X. But they need to shut Elon down, both because of DOGE and because of your ability to speak freely. And in conjunction, those two things together are literally the garlic for the vampire. It's the cross for the vampires. As Rogan said, and that was a great analogy, you found out where the vampire is sleeping, and Elon goes, vampires. This is really bad. Some of you may think, oh, what's the big deal? Well, it's a big deal until you can't anymore. If you're not understanding where we are at this point, where people are so freaked out, and it's got to be the combination of things. DOGE, your ability to speak freely, what's being shown. I saw a video today. I had to go tell Robin, do yourself a favor. Whatever you do, don't click on any video that says Syrian Christian crucifixion. It is the most abhorrent video you'd ever want to see, what they do to this guy. I'm just telling you, don't do it. And then there's another video going around. I'm like, can I incorporate this into the show? And it's a guy playing a girl in a Bernie Sanders rally who sings a song that is so blasphemous. I'm just happy the lightning didn't take everybody out on the stage. It is the most abhorrent, blasphemous thing I have ever heard. So if you see this curly-haired guy playing a girl at the Bernie Sanders rally, do not click on that, because what what it sings will curl your hair. It is vile beyond vile. And if some of you have seen it, then you will know what I'm talking about. And you can warn the others, don't just stay away. And then to make it matters even worse, Bernie Sanders decides he's going to thank this person. Well, I'd like to thank you today for your great song. What? Are you that devoid of a conscience that this is what you were talking about? Man, so I was able, as long as I don't click on any buttons here, I may be able to show you some, because I was able to download it, but if I refresh, it's probably going to go away. So, this was Elon Musk earlier. There was and still is. And that's what you need to understand. Just because you can get in doesn't mean you're going to stay in. This is a sustained attack. They are continuing to try and destroy X, and he's throwing up his shields and his Wonder Woman things, and they're able to try and stabilize it, but they keep coming in waves. There is and still is a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved, and he's trying to track where it's coming from. So this is a massive cyber attack that they're launched on a few different sites. Robin called me on the phone. She goes, "We still have AT&T?" I'm like, "Yeah, it rang. It's still working. It's still working." But remember what I've said to you. And many people have talked about the so-called, quote, 10 days of darkness. It's not a far-fetched thing. You can see we are walking on the precipice of these people completely losing it. There is no, and that's not being overly dramatic. You're watching it happen in real time. And there's so many things that happen in the background. As you can see, they're attacked every day, and they're able to shield off some of this stuff. So it's an ongoing war that's happening. You're experiencing it, but you don't know for the most part that it's happening until one day you can't call anybody either, and you can't text anybody. It's going to get worse. He's obviously closing in on something. We've been talking about it here. It's getting crazy. Let me see if I can if I can click on what DOGE designer said, if it'll load. Okay, it said first the protests were against DOGE. Then the Tesla stores are being attacked. Now X is down. I wouldn't rule out the possibility that this downtime is the result of an attack on X, which Elon himself confirmed. Interesting. I read something, this was in a post in response to that. Elon Musk has just revealed that X is currently facing a massive cyber attack. X gets attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources, either a large coordinated group or a country, as I mentioned to you. This L. Ron Hubbard account says something that you really, really should listen to. Now it's undeniable, don't you see? X isn't just under attack, it's under siege. And when Elon Musk himself says this wasn't some routine hacking attempt, but a massive, highly resourced cyber attack, you know this is serious. When you think about that, a highly resourced cyber attack, meaning there's money behind it, there's resources behind it, which leads to be a very large-scale group of hackers, or possibly a country being behind it, including our own. This isn't just about taking X offline for a few hours. This is about control. Someone, whether a foreign government, a rogue intelligence faction, or a globalist-backed operation. Who would be pissed at us right now, besides our own people? Wants to cripple the last major free speech platform in the world. The establishment lost its grip when Musk tore down the censorship machine that ran Twitter before. They can't manipulate narratives like they used to. They can't suppress stories, ban dissidents, or prop up their digital puppets as they easily used to do. So now they're escalating. But here's where they will fail. Musk doesn't back down. He won't roll over and surrender to the same forces that turned it into a surveillance tool before. He will trace this, expose it, and fight back. The real question is who did it? Will Musk reveal the culprit, and how far will they go next time? That's what you have to begin preparing for, because there's going to be a next time, and it's going to be bigger. You're like, well, Barry, it's only my X account. If they take X down, I'll be okay. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because then, once that works, it's Rumble. And once it works on Rumble, well, the next thing is darkness. It means I can hit your electrical grid. I can do these things to your water systems. This is serious stuff that's happening right now. And you have to believe it's because of what's going on with DOGE. Let me show you how serious some of this stuff is. Multiple Democrat NGOs, getting paid by your tax dollars, as we know, have coordinated attacks on Tesla dealership staff and vehicles. Last night, a number of Cybertrucks were torched in Seattle, of all places. Democrats are becoming increasingly more desperate and violent. And you can see in this video right here, which I just wanted you to see the visible, not so much the audio, but they decided they're going to just start attacking Tesla dealerships because Elon Musk must be stopped. He must be brought down at all costs. They've resorted now to violence. I have videos that I couldn't post up on here with somebody driving a Tesla, just driving it through a road, and people started attacking their cars because of that. And I got a video later I'm going to show you where this is a concerted attack against Elon Musk and anybody associated with him. And that video goes on for like 5 minutes with the fire department trying their best to put this stuff out. I mean, it's absolutely insane. There's some crazy stuff going on right now. General Flynn will be on the show next Monday. Hopefully everything goes okay. Breaking, General Flynn states that the CIA could be behind the outage on X. He asked Elon Musk to look into this possibility. Thanks, Ashley. And that's what I said earlier. It could be them or it could be us. And if it's us, which makes sense to me, then it's even more indication that we're in a civil war. They're terrified. They are absolutely terrified of what's coming. They can't stop what's coming, but they're going to try and silence everybody from being able to talk about it. Happening again. Massive attack on X is ongoing. This is attack number 4. So it's been happening all day long. The attackers are relentless. Elon Musk says that it's so well organized it could be a country, including our own. You can't, and you can see when they started about 5 a.m. and they've continued all day. So when you can log on, one of the things I noticed many people are like, hey, listen, I was able to log on, so it should be okay. No, you're lucky at that point. You're on a node meaning a piece of the internet that isn't being attacked at that point. But I don't even think Benny could go live this morning. I think Benny only went live on YouTube. I think that's the only place he went live on. SV just sent me something. And welcome back, SV. Massive cyber attack on X, Tesla, stock market, and Rumble, the globalist big move. I knew about Rumble. I didn't know about the stock market. The Dark Storm team, a pro-migrant hacktivist group, claims responsibility. Musk confirms it was highly coordinated, likely backed by a nation state. Targets were X servers, Tesla dealerships, the stock market, and Rumble, which are all major threats to the establishment. Pretty interesting how they threw Rumble in there, right? If this was all about Elon Musk, why are they going after Rumble? Oh, I know, because you can talk on Rumble. Russia blamed because Putin personally wants to silence Elon and take down free speech. No, it's not Russia. More likely, China, the EU, the globalist-backed cyber networks agenda line, pro-mass migration, anti-Western silencing, alternative platforms, and destabling finance. Oh, yeah, you mean a communist takeover, where they want you quiet and don't love capitalism. Yeah, that could be a number of countries. And if you remember, Klaus Schwab warned of a cyber event worse than COVID. Is this it? Who knows put it this way. You know what's happening. You don't know what's being repelled. You don't know what's actually happening to stop a lot of this stuff. Is this the globalist big move to shut down resistance? Who's really behind it? It's so bad that a couple of times I put the refresh on X, and I got a Cloudflare screen saying they couldn't even reach the DNS. They couldn't even reach there. Never mind their servers. It couldn't even promulgate to the name. Couldn't get anywhere. So it's becoming even bigger. Let me see what I got here. Here is the hacking group Dark Storm, which could be anybody. They announced on Telegram that they are behind taking down X multiple times today. Dark Storm team's history points to geopolitical motives and are pro-Hamas. And these are all the different timeouts that they're doing and how they're attacking the servers. Let me see here. We saw that. Let me just make sure here. So right now we're seeing massive attacks, and it's just not stopping. Here's something that could add to it, SV. See, SV and Ashley, y'all could just go ahead and produce this show because I can't see everything, and boom, they send me this stuff. DNI Tulsi Gabbard has officially revoked the security clearances of Anthony Blinken, Letitia. Why the hell does Letitia James have a security clearance of the government? Jake Sullivan, and the 51 signers of the Hunter Biden laptop disinformation letter. The Trump admin is making it tougher and tougher for the deep state to undermine them. Now, I don't know, but I'm about to scroll down here and look at when was this posted. And I'll tell you why in a second. Let's see, what time was this posted? Oh, 3:18 p.m. So we're at about 5 minutes ago, right? So you're saying, so Barry, why is that significant? We're fighting back. We're fighting back. There are people right now checking things out, seeing who's aligned with who. Who are the players right now that may be involved in all of this happening? As you heard in the video with Joe Rogan, Elon Musk said President Trump has had more attempts on his life than you even know. I don't know if you know about what happened down here in this past weekend. Down here, we live in South Florida. Down here, the F-16s had to scramble and chase away some plane. Was it a threat? I don't know. Or just some idiot just wandering over restricted airspace, but they actually had to deploy flares. So it's just a constant battle to keep this man protected. That's why his schedule is very hard. And I keep looking because we all know he's got this summit he's supposed to be at today. And I'm looking to see if there's any footage of it, and I can't see it. And then he's also supposed to sign executive orders, which they can't do live because they just seem like they just keep him moving. All of this in this bag should tell you we're definitely under attack. And I don't see it getting any easier because it just tells us that, yes, we are definitely over the target. And it's scaring these people. And the more he takes dollars away from them and everything else, it's only going to get worse. Here's what Gunther, hey, thanks, Ashley. Here's what Gunther Engelman posted. You are over the target. Keep at it. Don't let them intimidate you into submission. You have tens of millions of Americans standing with you. That's why it's important for you to, if nothing else, at Elon Musk, we're here with you. Thank you. Keep fighting. We're going to fight with you. Let them know they are not going to force us back into caves. We are not going to stop talking. We're going to come at every single Democrat we can. We are not going to accept boys playing girls sports. We are not going to sit back and let 350,000 kids stay missing. We're not going to allow you to bring these people over the border and not be able to apprehend them or stop it. We're done. We're done with you spending gazillions of dollars overseas, stealing our money. We're done paying taxes. You see, right now, there are people out there trying to figure out, how do I not pay taxes? You don't deserve it. You have not been good stewards. I feel for the people really bad whose employers just simply take it out of their checks and there's nothing that they can do. But I feel like, we're reaching a 1776 moment real quick here. People have flipping had it. You can't keep treating us like we are in the Matrix. Just like Elon said, we've unplugged. And I've told you guys so many times, and I'll say it again. If you have not digested the red pill, well, it's time to. It's time to take that pill, drink the big glass of water, and realize you need to unplug. You need to tell your friends, unplug, stop being stupid. Or not. Take that blue pill and go back to sleep and act like nothing ever happened. And soon, you'll be eating bugs, living in a pod, and owning nothing and being happy. If that's what you want, that's what they have in store for you. Me personally, nope. Don't want to have anything to do with that. Sorry. I'm an American. I have a family. I have a business. And I'm not going out like that. Big stuff happening. Big stuff happening. By the way, speaking of big stuff, the reason why I've got this hat on today, see, every year about this time, I have high hopes. Like, it's March, and the boys are back out getting ready for this new season. And I can, probably sport this hat most of the times until, September. Sometimes it gets so bad it's back there in the dustbin. So the Boston Red Sox start their campaign for 2025. Tomorrow is the first game of spring training. And so I've got my Red Sox hat on. Go Bo Sox. Go Bo Sox. I don't know if your team is, if you even follow baseball. But you can imagine what's going on in this household for 30-something years. You meet the woman of your dreams. Beautiful woman. And everything clicks until you realize how many things you don't have in common. As you know, I am a rocker. The harder the better. I like the Scorpions. I like just really Ozzy, Crazy Train, and I also love country. Absolutely love country, especially old country, not the new crap they put out now. And I met my wife in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, home country, big deep South. And I was like, this is it. She fixed all the boxes. She's beautiful. She can cook. And I'm sure she loves country music. And we get in the car for the first time. And she's like, what is this? And I'm like, that's, George Strait. And she clicks a button and she turns on disco. And I went, oh my God. Disco? She's a disco. How does that relate to anything right now? Well, then we decide we're going to go to a baseball game. And we go to a baseball game, and I'm all geared up, and she's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm a huge Yankee fan. I'm like, can I throw her back? Is it too late to put her back? You're what? I'm a Yankee fan. And, when you're in love, you let it go. Just and so you can imagine over the last 30 years what September and October have been like in our house. Every year I'm like, oh gosh, here come the Yankees, and she'll come like, oh, the Red Sox look good this year, and then they'll end up playing in the playoffs, and one of them will go home. Oftentimes it's been the Red Sox, but hence that's where we are. Just a little humor there to brighten things up for you, okay? And then it's, then comes August, and I'll have my Notre Dame stuff on until I get heartbroken there too. Oh no, disco, my husband too. Opposites attract. Yeah. Why me, Lord? Powerful song. Our differences make us better. I mean, to this day, we both laugh at it. We just like can't believe. I'm like, really? You're a hard rocker? Yeah. And you're a disco queen? Yeah, I like disco. Oh my goodness, I'm like, disco. God. No coverage of the shipwreck. I don't have anything on the shipwreck because there's no information. Here's the information on the shipwreck. You ready? I can cover it before I go to break. I got all the information you possibly can know on the shipwreck. All right? 2 boats ran into each other, and there's like 30 people dead. That's it. That's all I got for you. Don't know why, don't know how. One was a oil tanker, the other one was a cargo ship, and I don't know how 2 ships that big in the middle of the frickin' ocean just end up running into each other. A lot of strange things are happening, and we never seem to get the answers on what happened. Did both boats not see the other one? I mean, these boats down here on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, you can look out into the ocean, and you can see these cargo ships getting ready to come into the port. You can see the oil tankers coming into the port. Many times they're anchored out there for days until it's their time to pull in. Now, if I can see these boats on the horizon, hey man, there's some big boats out there. Yeah, okay. If I can see those big boats, you're telling me these boats, forget their radar systems, forget all the electronics. There's nobody out there going, hey, Fred, what? There's another big ass boat in front of us. You might want to tell the captain to turn left. That's all I'm saying. So the news, that's the news. 2 boats ran into each other. Unfortunately, there's casualties. What happened? I have no idea. So I always wait until there's actual more news to talk about these kinds of things, because that's about a 30-second little clip. I'm like, sorry, 30 people or so are dead. Boats ran into each other. So we got stuff falling out of the sky, and we got boats running into each other, and weird stuff is happening. Now you may know why. Who knows? Maybe they got a technological attack out there. But you still got eyes. So I'm kind of weird. And they don't move that fast. I mean, they kind of like, boom. Don't get it. Not speedboats. In any event, what you're seeing happening right now should just tell you without a doubt things are going crazy. Things are absolutely nuts. And you better protect yourself. And one of the ways we protect ourselves here is by buying gold and silver. And we've begun getting into the, other stuff as well. And I don't know, I got to find that because I got to talk about what's going on down here in South Florida. Big news. But you got to protect yourself. And I never look at gold and silver as, quote, an investment. I look at gold and silver as insurance. I don't buy gold to make money, not to hopefully it goes up and I make a lot of money. I buy gold to make sure it's there. So in case something happens, in case something goes haywire, it's there. It's not like Fort Knox. It's where we keep it. So if you guys want to feel protected and understand the market's going to go crazy, the tariffs, people are artificially manipulating things, it might be a good time to grab yourself some gold. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, And with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. All right, I got a funny text here from somebody. Somebody's like, Barry, are you still a Dolphin fan or not? Well, I don't know if you can see this. They keep calling me. They keep calling me like, once or twice a week. Hey man, you're gonna get season tickets. You're gonna get a suite. I'm like, you suck. you absolutely suck, and you just want people to pay more and more money. How about you handle your business? So yeah, I'm a fan, but it's kind of hard to admit it. We have to get a bag to fit over my head because, good gosh, they sucked really bad. Somebody says the tanker was anchored and the ship ran into the middle of the tanker. Okay, so you didn't see this big boat sitting in the water. Wow. Somebody said you guys should have never traded Babe Ruth, the curse of the Bambino. Oh man, that's crazy. Went straight for it. Hey Barry, you can stop you can stop payroll tax deductions. I understand that, Flower, but I am not going to. How can I say that? I can't advise people to do that because I'm not a financial consultant, and so I'm not going to get sued because somebody takes my financial advice. I can say, hey, you can buy some gold, because I'm just saying you can do what you want. If I start telling people how to do their taxes, they might get mad. So I got to be careful there. But you're absolutely right. Barry, did you hear Benny's report on the app for illegals doing tracking now? Well, I didn't need Benny's report because it's coming up. Right at you. All right, so let's continue, because what exactly is going on with DOGE? Why are these people all freaked out about DOGE, and even to the point of making stuff up? Well, let's dig into this.
We are continuing to track reports of an explosive meeting over those sweeping DOGE government cuts, Elon Musk versus Marco Rubio. The dust-up reportedly coming during a private cabinet meeting this week when Musk accused Rubio of not cutting enough of his staff. After a heated back and forth, a new indication from Trump of willingness to put...
When you see these reports, does it ever cross your mind? Because we've been covering President Trump on this channel for quite some time. And they'll have the public thing, and then they'll say, press, get out of here. And so are you telling me that one of the 13 or 14 people in that ring there who sit at that table are walking out and going, hey, by the way, you should have saw Marco and Elon after you guys left. Ooh, man, it was going crazy. They hate each other. And then people can't wait to report it. But it's obviously not true. You're being played. If it's happening, you're being played and you don't even know it.
Limits on Musk. Trump posting on social media after the meeting, the next phase of cuts will use a scalpel rather than a hatchet. News Nation's Libby Dean live at the White House tracking all of this for us. Libby.
Natasha, for the first time, President Trump putting limits on what the Department of Government Efficiency can do. This happening at a cabinet meeting at the White House that reportedly got heated this past week. President Trump reining in Elon Musk and his DOGE capabilities behind closed doors this week.
So let me know in the comments if you believe that President Trump was reining in Elon Musk and saying, don't be so tough on these guys. Because, I don't know, the only person I saw flying with President Trump down here to Mar-a-Lago wasn't Rubio, wasn't Scott Bessent. It was Elon Musk and Susie Wiles. So if he was upset with Elon, he sure didn't show it.
Confusion in Washington about all the cuts being made so far. In a social media post following Thursday's meeting, the president saying he wants the cabinet to work hand in hand with DOGE on their staffing and spending, but final decisions will be up to the department leaders. Despite Trump ending the post by saying, quote, the relationships between everybody in the room are extraordinary, reports soon emerged about a couple of back and forths between Musk and a few cabinet members. The most fiery being with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The New York Times reporting the meeting was explosive, with Musk and Rubio getting into it over government cuts. Musk chastising Rubio for not having fired anyone yet from the State Department. Rubio...
I had to stop because, Jane, you're here a lot, and I see this comment. I disagree. I believe there could be a little tension. So the question is, who called you? I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm like, these are big boys. These are adults in high-level positions. And what I'm saying is the media is trying their best to make this an issue. They're doing everything they can to let people think there's some dissension in the ranks. Why? Because they have to. If these people are united and people see them united, it gets other people quite afraid. Now, I don't know how many of you have owned businesses or managed businesses or been in a large corporation or even coached a team. But there are times when people, why did you do that? I didn't like it. And that's called being an adult. I don't think libs understand that concept. They think you just do whatever you're told and just shut up. No. Hey, why'd you run that play? I think that was a stupid call. But I'm coming to practice the next day, and the offensive coordinator and everyone who had a problem with that call are still talking. The CMO and the CFO and everybody else who in the boardroom, it's not always roses. You're going to get personality conflicts because one person believes something and one person believes something else. But you can always tell who wins the argument. And in this regard, you're going to see that as well.
Responding by saying that's not true, questioning Musk on whether the 1,500 plus who took buyouts counted towards the layoffs. Musk then got in a jab at Rubio, saying he was, quote, good on TV, before President Trump got involved to defend Rubio's work. The White House and the president have since been downplaying the reported spat, saying the two men get along great.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
End of story. The media can say what they want. And I just think to people, have you not heard enough in the media to realize they're full of crap? How much more would you say, oh, yeah, I could believe that? No, You can't believe anything they say. Unless you hear it out of their mouths, don't believe anything. I can be that forceful in terms of discussing this with you. I'm going to show you some lies today. So how can you possibly believe anything that comes out of their mouths? That's why I cover press conferences. Let me hear what he has to say. Look, say it. That's the reason why President Trump has been doing podcasts because they can't be trusted. Because if you believe that story, then you have to believe that there's somebody. And then if you believe the story, and if you believe somebody went, the other part you can't believe is, did they try to basically set a trap in the office? Hey, there's somebody in here I think shouldn't be here. And that person, I've gotten some reports that they're talking to the New York Times. Here's what I want you to do. I want you and Marco to go have a little argument in front of this person. And let's see if it gets to the newspaper. Yeah. Don't trust anything. And don't trust on the other side that they're not baiting traps for people. There's a reason why you keep seeing this person got fired. Why did the person who worked in the pardon office just get fired? Get out. Things are happening so quickly, so very quickly. In fact, a cyber attack today. So don't believe anything you see and believe half of what you hear. Understand there's a motive behind something being said, and I'm going to prove that to you in about 30 seconds. So they just reported, as you heard, that there's this dust up between, Elon and Marco, because Elon says you're not firing enough people, you're not helping save money. That's what you just heard. What you're going to see in 30 seconds is on the exact same network.
And President Trump doubling down on that denial that you just heard there, posting on Truth Social tonight, highlighting Marco Rubio and Elon Musk's good relationship. Both Trump and Musk are at Mar-a-Lago this weekend.
Meanwhile, the United States is canceling 83% of programs at USAID. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio making that announcement early this morning on...
Who? Who made that this morning? This morning? Oh, Marco Rubio just cut 83% of the programs in the State Department. Marco Rubio, who supposedly had an argument with Elon Musk about not cutting as much, and then, we're going to go with the scalpel, not the sledgehammer. Well, that must have been one giant scalpel, because you just lopped off a tumor of 83%. Literally, the same network. The same one who said, they're having a fight. No, they're a problem. Oh, my God, it's a little dust up. And, they're not getting along together because he wants them to cut more and he won't cut. I'm sitting there watching this going, anybody else watching this but me? Am I the only one seeing this insanity? With two women on the same network cutting to another segment. Oh, right now we're going to cut to Susie, who's going to make us look like complete morons. Susie, take it away and slap me upside my head.
Twitter, or X, I should say, saying that the thousands of contracts being canceled did not serve the core national interests of the country. You're talking about 5,200 contracts here. News Nation's Tom Dempsey has the latest from Capitol Hill. So, Tom, just how...
I'm sorry. 5,200 contracts. Yeah, I can't help you.
significant will these cuts be, and what does that mean for everyday folks at home?
Hey, good morning from Capitol Hill, Marky. Yeah, this is quite the big announcement coming from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says this decision came after a 6-week review, and he even thanked the Department of Government Efficiency for its help on the matter. We want to show you part of this statement that was posted to X a short while ago, where Secretary Rubio writes, quote, the 5,200 contracts that are now being canceled spent tens of billions of dollars in ways that did not serve, and in some cases even...
Sometimes I think when the media covers Trump, they go back and think to themselves, okay, I won't do it again. I'm not going to get caught again. I'm going to make sure that if I say something, I have a source so solid that I'm not going to look like poop in about 20 minutes. I mean, same network. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's cut to Jill. And they're going to cut like $1 gazillion. Wait a second. How do you have those two stories back to back? I mean, you may have wanted to run a commercial, maybe talk about the dog park or something, get people's mind away from what you just said like a couple minutes ago. Nope, they ran them back to back.
Harmed the core national interests of the United States. Rubio went on to say that the 17% of remaining contracts intend to be kept, promising them to be more efficient under the State Department. This announcement comes, though, after President Donald Trump has really dismantled USAID, the agency that oversees foreign aid and development programs. Thousands of workers have either been put on leave or fired, while the federal government also froze payments to contractors. That actually led to some lawsuits being filed, and after a federal court decision last week, interesting timing here. Today, the federal government must start making payments to contractors for work already done, which is estimated to cost around $2 billion. Now, you were asking about the impacts, Marky. Still unknown what exact programs will be impacted by this announcement today. That includes the Food for Peace program, which sends billions of dollars of American produce.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either. Food for Peace. How about food for Detroit? Anybody doing that? How about food for Chicago, St. Louis, Harlem? No. Food for Peace, you can save that. You can save that, okay? We're going to spend $1 gazillion here. Man, these people.
Overseas to countries in need. But again, this is all part of this effort to cut back on wasteful government spending and to reduce the size of the federal government workforce, Marky.
Thanks, Trump administration.
Thank you very much. I'm going to have to change my skirt here because I soiled it after you just embarrassed me to all my viewers. It's crazy. Speaking about getting embarrassed, speaking about getting just completely embarrassed. Thanks, SV. Just said this to me. Just in. Zelensky has now personally apologized to President Trump for disrespecting him as well as America during their Oval Office meeting. Trump always comes out on top, but Zelensky, you're still not getting a single more penny from America. The gravy train's already come to a halt. Donald, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I'm scum. Russia blowing up. Russia's killing me. I don't mean to laugh at death. I laugh because this is so stupid. What are we on? 10 days? So you've got 10 days of destruction and death solely because you wanted to be a little a-hole and come here and disrespect this man. So whatever's happened in the last, I don't know when it was, 7-10 days, every person who's been injured, every person who's been killed, all of it is on you. And as I've told you, the deal that he was once presented, that deal is no longer on the table. What was interesting is that when SV sent this to me, this was at 3:29 p.m. So I don't know if you know what happened a couple hours ago. Well, Marco Rubio, the guy who's fighting with Elon, Marco Rubio landed in Saudi Arabia to begin the new negotiations. And just so happens, a couple minutes ago, he's told to apologize. He said, Trump, Marco probably walked in and I got nothing to tell you. He don't even want to see you unless you apologize. And he's probably going to tell him you got to do it publicly. I mean, next time a camera pops up, we're going to want to see you say, I'm sorry, Donald. I didn't mean it. I didn't understand it was going to cause this kind of problem. Yeah, and your boy Trudeau, he's gone, and they put a stupid, worse lefty in there. Worse. And then on top of that, England's like, we don't have the money to help you. And there's videos going around today where Putin is basically dragging Ukrainian tanks away. Let me see if I can find that. just walking in and just taking their tanks. Let's see here if I can find it. This was just recently. Oh, I spelled Ukrainian tanks. Okay, not Ukrainian tanks. And I wanted to see if I could show them just dragging these tents around. I don't know if Alex Jones had it. Oh, I see what's wrong. I can't really log into X right now to grab everything, but he was just dragging the tanks away. Can't get to it. All right, whatever. We'll continue. So, as we were saying, let's continue.
The ongoing push to slash the federal workforce took a new turn over the weekend. About 80,000 people who work for RFK Jr.'s Department of Health and Human Services, they were offered a $25,000 buyout to quit their job. And starting this morning, those employees can let the agency know if they're taking the deal or not. News Nation's Tom Dempsey joins us live from Capitol Hill with the latest here. So, Tom, what else do we know about what was in this email and this offer that these workers received?
Hey, good morning from Capitol Hill, Marky. Look, these buyout offers can impact workers who research diseases for the CDC, as well as do food inspections for the FDA, and even people who help with aid through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So obviously the impact of these buyout offers will be pretty big, but it's important to note that with these buyout offers, they are voluntary, with the writing sort of on the wall for the past few weeks after the president last month instructed all federal agency heads to have a plan for large-scale staffing reductions by March 13th. That's this Thursday. All part of the big effort by the federal government to slash $2 trillion in federal spending. Health and Human Services has an annual budget of around $1.7 trillion for some perspective, but the vast majority of that money, 85% of it is dedicated to Medicare and Medicaid. In fact, the most recognizable agencies like the CDC, FDA, and NIH account for about $70 billion of the HHS budget. So those Health and Human Services employees can start responding to that buyout offer today. And just to put this in perspective, this obviously comes after around 2 million federal workers got buyout offers earlier this year, and right around 75,000 of them accepted that offer. But again, all this part of this effort by the federal government to slash government spending and reduce the workforce numbers, Marky.
Yeah. We've only investigated.
Okay, so now you're seeing RFK Jr. step up to the plate. RFK Jr. is like, let me get some of this and give me the knife so I can excise some of these. And he's giving 80,000 people the option to take the door instead of getting thrown out the window. 80,000 people are being given a buyout. And yet people want to hear that Trump is taking his foot off the accelerator when it's anything but that. He is full speed ahead and doing everything he can to slash this budget. Listen to this.
2% of our contracts at the VA, and yet found over $98 million when we look at this as we go forward. Going forward, $980 million. I'm sorry, apologize. It was a little bit more. $980 million, almost $1 billion that we're cutting now to put back into patient care.
But that's not the big thing. He has found almost $1 billion that he can save. And let him tell you how far he's been looking.
And working with our benefits, and we have over almost 1.8 billion total of contracts that are just canceled going forward. That's only 2%, Brian. And when you look at our process going,
he's only gone through 2% of the contracts in the VA office. 2%, which means he's got 50 times that amount to look at. So if he's already cut nearly $1 billion, only looking at 2%, he's looking at a potential of $50 billion. $50 billion he could be cutting just from the VA. Yeah, April 15th is going to be a bloodbath.
Forward, that's the kind of things that we need to make sure the VA is efficient.
He's very rich. He's got control of X. Those are big assets to Donald Trump. But I got to say, how long Elon Musk is going to want to continue to see people attacking Tesla dealerships around the country, lighting Tesla charging stations on fire, painting swastikas on the sides of Tesla dealerships, and seeing the stock price plummet that way, impacting his personal wealth. I don't know.
You don't know because I think you squat to pee. Because every man out there, and a lot of women, will tell you, if you come for me, you're not going to get acquiescence. You're not going to see me cower and go, I can't take it anymore. Oh my God, they're doing stuff to dealerships and they're putting swastikas on cars. I should wave the white flag and stop and say, Trump, I gotta leave. If they put that on a national television, on Morning Joe this morning, they put that out there. They put that out there to tell you that, almost encouraging people to continue attacking Elon Musk. The richest man in the world, who at one point, I don't know, got up to like 400 billion, and if he's lost 100, he's still at 300 billion. How much more can he take? Oh, a whole hell of a lot more. You see, if he lost 90% of his money, he'd still be a billionaire. But I wouldn't bet against Elon. You guys have tried that with Twitter to the point now where you're not betting against it, you're trying to destroy it. You see, there's a reason why he kept Twitter private, so that he doesn't have shareholder liability. It's mine. I own it. And if I own all of this, there's nobody here that I have to answer to. Besides, the fact if Tesla went away and there was no more Tesla, you got these things called rockets flying around that next week you're having him send an Uber up to get these other astronauts. So you think that your little nuts running around setting fire to stuff are going to stop the richest man in the world from moving forward on his agenda? Do you really think that? Because if you think that, then that tells me you're not used to talking to real men. There is nobody I know who, if you keep poking them in the chest, are going to go, stop, okay? You win. No, I'm going to fight you till I can't fight anymore. I'm going to fight you until I can, whatever I need to do. I'm going to claw your eyes out. I'm going to rip your ears off. I'm going to do everything to survive. I'm not going to wave a white flag. I'm going to gouge your eye. What do these people not understand? You don't become a billionaire unless you're willing to fight. You think Donald Trump didn't have to fight mobsters in New York to get concrete and steel and everything else with those unions? You don't think he had to go through that? These guys sit in these studios with their bright lights and their cameras, and they have their double latte grande brought to them, and then they have their little rooms that they go to have their way with interns, but they never get their hands dirty. They all go and get manicures, and they don't realize there are people like Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, who will destroy you, even if it means their business may get hurt. Because I am not one who is going to pull my pants down and bend over for you. And I cannot believe that came from that guy's mouth. Well, I don't know how much more he can take. Every now and then I look at something on television, and it really makes me, did he really just say that? Seriously? I mean, I don't know who they're used to talking to. Maybe that's why our country is the way it is at this point. Absolutely crazy. Democrats are in a panic, big panic. I'm looking over here, over my shoulder here. President Trump is going to be making remarks, so I will have those live as soon as they come. But right now, you've got Democrats screaming about the continuing resolution and Trump's funding and what he's going to do. So as soon as he comes on, we'll take that. Whew. Exactly, Gina. I was not excluding women, but I'm pretty sure a woman out there, sometimes she makes me acquiesce. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Someone wants to think they can browbeat you into submission. You don't know what people have been through in their lives. You burned up a few cars. You know what? He can make more of them. Oh, he can make a whole lot more of them. So guess what? He's probably got insurance on him, so it's probably insurance going to pay for him. But the stupid idiots running around doing that think they're going to hurt Elon. Think that, they're going to hurt sales. People will be afraid to buy them. Okay. How long do you think you can keep doing that? Barry, thank you for making sense of everything. It's crazy. I just don't. Maybe I've been around too many men with testosterone to watch men that drink soy like that. To think that you could walk up to a guy and try to convince him that this is going to be too much for you to take. Yeah, I'm not sure. How much more can you take? Yeah. I know I could take enough to. Even if you beat me, I'm gonna make you feel that you were in a fight. How about that? Elon has the Boring Company too. That's not happening with me. Bring it. Yeah. Like I said, you may beat me, but you're gonna know you were in a fight. I'm not gonna go, oh, you're right. They're burning up the cars. I'll stop. See, that's what the other thing they don't realize. Patriots. That's one of the reasons why they do this stuff in the dark and everything else, and have their little protest and run up and down the street. Yeah, good luck with that. I bet he lost more. Yeah, I bet he lost more when his rocket blew up than they did burning his cars. Yeah, absolutely. Another civil war on the way. I don't think it's on the way, Brad. I don't think it's on the way. It's here. It's here. Get ready. Get yourself ready, for sure. Now, they're saying Trump soon, so I'm going to continue with what I have, and then we'll jump into him. So I don't know if you guys have been following all this information about Stacy Abrams. I alluded to it a couple days ago, and I've been digging in this, and this is just, you think what they're cutting at the VA or in what RFK Jr. is doing or what Big Balls is doing. Oh, Lee Zeldin stepped into something. They found the holy grail thus far, and this is getting really bad.
$1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacy Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Right, with us is the two-time nominee for governor of Georgia, Stacy Abrams. Thank you so much for being with us. He called you out by name. What's your response?
That he is trying to distract Americans from his failure to deliver.
Okay. She just heard President Trump call her out by name. The guy from CNN here, let's remember, hey, he calls you out by name. So somebody just said, you're a flippin' thief. You have stolen billions from the American people. That's what President Trump just said. Let me ask you, what would be your response? I damn sure wouldn't give them the Ricky Martin response. The Ricky Martin, those of you who know, when Ricky Martin got accused of playing for the other team, a reporter asked him, hey, are you playing on that team now? At which point Ricky Martin, who had all the heartthrobs in the world looking at him, went, I don't think it's really necessary for me to discuss that. Career down the tubes. He since came back a little bit, but he was at the top of the world. And what do you mean? You need to hit that question head on. The president of the United States just called you a $1.9 billion scammer. You tell me if you hear any, no, I didn't do it.
on any of his promises. And instead of doing his work, he's going after those of us who are actually doing the work of the American people. I am very proud of the work that I've done to protect voting rights, to lower the cost of energy for real people in the state of Georgia, and working with organizations that want to do it around the country, because Donald Trump is failing in his promises and focusing on petty retribution instead of...
I'm pretty sure he didn't ask you anything about, did Donald Trump do something? He said, did you steal the money? Well, he wouldn't ask her. I would ask that question. Did you steal the money? He just said, what's your response? And so far, she hadn't said anything about the money. Where'd it go?
Fulfilling his promises to the American people.
What is your connection to this organization that did get funding, did get federal funding?
I led a project in Southwest Georgia that has lowered the cost of energy for struggling families, and I'm extraordinarily proud of that work. And because of that work, because of the work of 5 major organizations around this country who have done more than 250 years of service combined, the Biden administration authorized a grant. I did not work for the entity that received the grant ultimately. I worked for one of the partner organizations, but I was very much a part of pushing and showing America that we have the ability to lower prices, that the...
I hate CNN. I loathe these reporters because she lofts up a softball back at you, bro. And you could just said, so tell me how many things you did. How much did you spend on X, Y, and Z? What did you do to warrant $2 billion? How did you get involved? I mean, just think of the questions all of you have right now. Hey, Stacy, when you got $2 billion, did you not think at some point people were going to want to know what you did with the money?
Money is there, the will is there, the capacity is there. But what is not there is Donald Trump and his lackeys' willingness to actually let American people get the benefit of these services.
You're the EPA.
When you hear those kinds of things and you're watching the guy on CNN, those are the kind of things that tell me they are controlled. Because I can't think anybody in their right mind. I don't know, I've been questioned by my mom. Maybe that's the problem. I've been questioned by a lawyer. And I've been questioned by my wife. And you just can't sit there and say, well, you know, it's Trump's fault. So what were you doing and how did this happen? It was some other guy's stuff, and I was just a partner, but I didn't get none of the money. Yeah, you did. You just said, you know, you helped a small town in Georgia. How many people live in that town? Huh? Say what again? Say what again, Stacy?
Administrator, you need to know where the money's going. Do you think you'll be able to get some of it back?
Well, right now, the lead with the investigation is the DOJ and FBI, so that's one path. In the meantime, though, the money's currently frozen at the bank, and that's important. I also sent a detailed letter to the 8 prime recipients asking 35 questions that we want answers to, and this will be a test as to just how much oversight we have, whether or not they respond timely. It's important that all of these questions are answered, not just for me, but I should have the ability to sit before the United States Congress, to sit before you and the American public, and to answer these questions that I'm asking these prime recipients. And I'll remind you, you and I have spoken about this in the past. These are 8 prime recipients that received $20 billion, just these 8. And some of these entities were created just to receive this money.
Now, what you understand, if I was going to pay someone to do a job, even if it's a job of buying refrigerators, I'd like to know I'm paying someone who actually knows how to buy refrigerators and install them and has a history of getting them shipped and everything. Well, this entity that she was involved in had no history of anything. It barely existed. It was an LLC with a bank account. That's it. And so, I don't know. I've had work done. You've had work done. You kind of say, hey, listen, can you come over and give me an estimate? Yeah, okay. And here's my invoice. Here's my card, information on my company. Yeah. I'm about to give you $1.9 billion. Billion. And I'm going to call you up and say, yeah, I can get some refrigerators. You don't have any employees. How you going to get them to the house? We going to take care of that. And you're going to cut me a check for $1.9 billion? And I have no experience? This is how our government has been operating? I didn't say 100. I didn't say 1,000. I didn't say 10. You wouldn't give somebody $10,000 if they had no experience and couldn't show you anything on their resume. And our government gave this woman $1.9 billion. Just let that sink in. As your Democrat friends and coworkers say, oh yeah, the DOGE is being bad. It's like, explain that to me. You can actually say to them, hey, listen, I'm a friend. I work with you. I know we're not that close, but can you give me $1,000? And I want it as a grant. I'm not even going to pay you back. Just give it to me, $1,000. Oh, you're not going to give me any money? Why not? I'm good. Well, the first part is you don't have to pay her back. So she never getting your money back. Good luck with that.
The one NGO linked to Stacy Abrams that only received $100 in 2023 got $2 billion in 2024.
Oh my!
I'm sorry, I had almost got that mixed up. I said she didn't have any sales or revenue. She had $100 the entire year. Your bank account only brought in $100 the entire year. So basically, they were set up as a shadow thing to shovel money into when it was time. Oh, we lost the election? Put this $1.9 billion into Stacy's account. Any Democrat out there? Are any trolls in here? And anybody want to tell me who in their right mind would do that? No. It's a scam. It's an epic scam.
I got $100 in 23, $2 billion in 24. It's amazing to me because they talked so much about the importance of the climate change.
She had only raised $100. $100. Not $100,000. $100. You could get that from the guy who's begging on the street. If you want to rob him, I'll bet you if he spends a couple of days just at a street corner, he's got $100, maybe even a day. That's all she could raise for her own organization. And then suddenly, Biden comes in and is like, it's $2 billion. Oh, that seems right. So there's no transparency. There's no accountability. In December, it was Project Veritas that caught an EPA official spilling the truth on this one. He said this was an insurance policy against Trump winning. Now, what does that mean?
It means in case Trump wins, we got a parachute over here with a whole bunch of money strapped to these vests, and everybody's going to get some. And pull the cord because he won. Oh my God, he won. I got the parachute. I got my stuff strapped on. I'm out. And they divvied up completely. And then you have the broad audacity to go on television and smile. I didn't do nothing. You know what's weird? Stacy, it's funny you're making the rounds on television now that it's been exposed. You see, if I was doing something good for the community and I was out here doing it, my nonprofit was, just redeeming everybody, helping you out. We're going to help put on, get you a new refrigerator. There'd be pictures of me. I'd be talking, kissing babies. Look what I did to the community here. I'm helping everybody. And you don't show up until afterwards when people start questioning what you do with the money. And it's amazing to me that maybe I put too much credit in people. And I think to myself, how in the hell are people not questioning this? How are people on the left just going, yeah, that's okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Wow, you're just messing with a black woman. That's it. You just don't like the black woman. It's racist. No. It's business. Tell me how she got $2 billion with no experience, with no company, and now, only now, after she's been accused, is she making the rounds on television. on the nice places that will keep her comfort. Don't stir up anything. Just let Stacy say bad stuff about Trump. That's all she needs to do. Because Democrats are stupid.
What does that mean? So all it was a desperate cash dump before the clock ran out. They're giving it to their friends. Why? Now, under the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, they blew the lid off of this thing. The $20 billion was stashed at Citibank. It's being clawed back now by the government. It isn't incompetence. It's calculated theft. That's what it is.
It's March. So I'm trying to figure out when you hear these things about clawed back. If the government sent you, I don't know, $2 billion and it landed in your account, let's say, early November or December before Trump got sworn in, how is it still sitting there? Because if it's still sitting there, then Stacy, you just lied. You didn't help anybody. See, that was Glenn didn't say it, and she didn't say it on television, and it just, one of those things I'm like, well, wait a minute. If it's still sitting there, if Citibank has to give it back, means that it's sitting in the account and it wasn't used. If it wasn't used, how did you help the people in the community? I don't know. Maybe that would have been a question to ask her. Hey, Stacy, how much is still in the bank account? So how much did you actually spend? It's going to come out. I'm sure that was part of the 35 questions that Lee Zeldin has, but I don't know how you can claw back money after it's been spent. I mean, I would love to see that trick that banks can do. Hey, you're going to be able to take the money out of Sears or JCPenney after somebody spent the money? Hey, man, Stacy says she bought like 1,000 refrigerators. They got to get paid for that. That's already gone. Unless, of course, it didn't. So the question I would have is, what's the balance in that account? If they weren't able to run through all $1.9 billion, what's still left? And where did the other stuff go?
Theft of your money, your labor, your nation, quite honestly. So now, that's what happened. Now, here's what it means, and let me give you some historic perspective here. I want you to feel this in your gut, and it's going to sound like it's no big deal, but I want you to really understand what just this one piece means directly to you. $7 billion is $20 per American, not taxpayer, per American. Family of four. When you tally in the full $20 billion, that's $240 that's just gone from your bank account. Actually not, because take $240 per family and then just add the interest rate that we're going to be paying China for that borrowed cash. It's going to be a lot more than that. So that's groceries, gas, your kids' school supplies, gone. Where did it go? Stacy Abrams' big pockets. And she's a big person, so she has big pockets. Watergate was a break-in. Jail time. Prison. Break-in. It wasn't $1 billion siphon. No, there was no money stolen. Nothing happened in Watergate. Prison time. You know the savings and loan scandal? George Bush's brother was involved. Yeah, he was. And that scandal was $160 billion. Over 10 years. This is $20 billion, like, in a day. Remember, you're still working today. Every dollar you're going to make at work today is going to go to the federal government. When you break it out over a year, you will be working, I think it's this year, till April 19th, from January 1st to April 19th, just to pay your taxes.
You can do your own figuring, your own math in terms of where you are on that calendar and how much you have to work just to pay off your taxes. And I'm sorry, I guess I was wrong. I was saying $2 billion. Silly me. I hadn't remembered because it doesn't compute. It was $20 billion. $20 billion. Barry, you kept saying 2. Yeah, because for some reason my mind wouldn't go there. It was 20 billion.
And what happened to those dollars that you've worked from January 1st to April 19th this year? I don't know. Stacy Abrams stuffed it in her big butt someplace and money shooting out. To whom? I don't know. Now, who could possibly be against tracking this down? Now, the Democratic operatives that are tied to Abrams and Joe Biden, yeah, they're not happy about this because they're going to be exposed. Here's what's going to be exposed. The Patrogen network. That's their lifeblood. That's how they keep. Have you ever wondered have you ever said this? Because I have.
Okay, so I just checked to make sure I wasn't going crazy. It was 20 billion in total that the EPA shipped off. When you're talking about the gold bars off the Titanic, it was 20 billion total. Stacey Abrams organization, they got 2 billion. So I wasn't going crazy. He was talking about the entirety of the grift. I was just talking about Stacey Abrams and her big pockets.
Hell, are the Republican billionaires? Doesn't it seem like anybody who wants to, destroy the country, they got billions of dollars behind them, right? And you're like, the billionaires.
This is really, really important. It's something that I talked about last night. If you guys heard me talking last night, I said one of the things that made me start questioning things was, have we been funding other countries? You can go back and listen last night. And I'm like, some of these countries, they don't have any product. So did we just fund these countries? And then when the Democrats talk about millionaires, they don't talk about millionaires because most of them are now. When they talk about billionaires, everybody, I won't say everybody, I don't like using superlatives. A lot of people can say Soros. And Soros is doing that, and Soros is doing this. And if you think to yourself, you really think that George Soros is writing a check to put some DA in San Francisco? You really think Soros is spending this much money in Philadelphia to put this person in place? Here's a check for $5 million. I mean, I know a lot of rich people. And one of the things I know rich people like to do is stay rich. And so, here's $10 million for. What Glenn's going to say here is going to make your eyes go, boom. Listen to this.
On the left, they just give all this money. No. You've been giving all of this money. They've been funneling your money to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars to these people that want to destroy America. That's what's been going on. $20 billion. A slush fund buys an awful lot of loyalty, influence, votes. You rip that away and the empire crumbles. Well, it doesn't crumble, but it's a good hit to that because there's hundreds of billions that are in these slush funds. And the big banks like Citibank, I think they're quietly squirming.
One of the ironies of the attack on you, and I'm going to...
So what he said there was that it looks like it's coming from George Soros or the Open Society or whatever NGO or nonprofit the money's coming from. But the idea, which makes a lot more sense to me, it's actually your money. It's your money going to the Open Society and then coming back to, some food for America, food for the Ugandans. It's you paying for it. It's your money, goes to keep the prosecutors in California, and it's going to Soros's company, but then it just comes right back out. So it appears that Soros is the bad guy paying everybody, but it's your money. And I went, that's genius. And that makes more sense to me, because I wouldn't see that this guy is just spending all his money as he goes. I'm like, that's genius. We'll take it from the Americans and screw them with their own money. And they won't even know the better. They think it's from the boogeyman George Soros, but it's actually you're doing it. That's ingenious. And we always have more because we just keep taking it. So now she was on CNN. Now she runs to MSNBC.
Play what he did was that my understanding is the program at the source of this whole thing is a program to lower costs for people. Do I have that top line correct?
You have it absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what he had to say, and then I'm gonna ask you to explain what the program is that was such an obvious, ludicrous laugh line for.
Your viewers, the few that you have, understand you're full of crap. So her organization was supposedly to, quote, help people. You need to put an adjective there. If there was such a thing, it was to help the poor peoples. It wasn't to help you, wouldn't help me. We only help this group of people right here. That's all we give a crap about. That's who we need to take care of with your money. So it's not about helping the people. It's about helping Democrat voters. Hey, the Democrats gave me a real fridge. I got a new stove. This is awesome. Look, the Democrats are Joe Biden. Oh yeah, go Joe. Sickening.
The Republicans there. Take a listen.
$1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacy Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Okay, so what is this organization? What is your relation to it, and what does it do?
Okay, so you saw the clip I started this with on CNN. And they played the exact same clip from Trump, and they asked the exact same questions. So it's easy when you're going in, you can memorize your answer. So I know what you're going to ask me, and I can be prepared, because he still didn't ask you, what did you spend it on?
In 2023 and 2024, I led a program called Vitalizing DeSoto. We worked in a tiny town in South Georgia to demonstrate that by replacing energy inefficient appliances with efficient appliances, you can lower your cost. And in fact, we accomplished that. For 75% of the community, they got appliances that are lowering their bills right now. We had one woman who saw her electric bill cut in half from $180 to $98. That's what we delivered. And based on that program,
Okay, so not my words, her words exactly. In fact, I may have to rewind so you can see this and hear it again so you know exactly what she says here, because I'm going to stop it because I got something to show you. You ready? But as you're listening to this the second time, understand she got $1.9 billion. You ready? Listen to this.
Stacy Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Okay, so what is this organization? What is your relation to it, and what does it do?
In 2023 and 2024, I led a program called Vitalizing DeSoto. We worked in a tiny town in South Georgia to demonstrate that by replacing energy inefficient appliances with efficient appliances, you can lower your cost. And in fact, we accomplished that. For 75% of the community, they got appliances that are lowering their bills right now. We had one woman who saw her
Okay. What she just said, you just heard, is that she went into a small community in Georgia, a place called DeSoto, Georgia. But what she didn't tell you, and what Chris Hayes didn't tell you, was just how small this area is. And when you hear what she said, well, let me just bring it up for you. This is DeSoto, Georgia. Population, 214 people. 214 people. Wait. So you decided to do this pilot program for $1.9 billion. in the town of DeSoto, Georgia, which has a complete population, including kids, of 214 people. Which means you could have bought everyone in DeSoto a smart house and not spent $1.9 billion. You bought them a refrigerator? How much does, 200 refrigerators cost? Well, there's Brand Smart down here. I could probably go buy a refrigerator for, really nice one for $1,000. And there's 200, and that's just people. I don't know how many households. So you could have bought 200 brand new $1,000 refrigerators, and that's $200,000. They think you're stupid. They think we're stupid.
Bill cut in half from $180 to $98. That's what we delivered. And based on that program, a coalition of organizations, famous organizations, came together and said to the EPA, if we can do this here, we can do this for millions more Americans. Let us invest the money of America in lowering the cost for Americans. And the EPA said, okay, great, go for it.
So she did her little test pilot program in DeSoto, Georgia, home of 214 people. And when she did her pilot program, she then went to the EPA based upon her focus data, her focus group of 214 people, maybe 100 households, and said, you know what, we lowered their bills in DeSoto, Georgia, where nobody flipping lives, by 50%. Imagine what we could do if we did this for millions of people. And whoever was running the EPA under Joe Biden said, that's fantastic. Oh my God, you've never done anything before. You bought 200 refrigerators. Oh, here's $1.9 billion. Seriously, that's what she just said. And then she said, we wanted to invest America's money. And I'm thinking to myself, whenever I've invested, I've signed a form, I've approved it. You didn't invest America's money. You stole $1.9 billion. And again, she had a chance to tell Chris Hayes, yeah, here's what we did. We bought 1 million refrigerators. What happened? 214 people. As usual, she's full of crap. Yep, somebody did the math. That's over. Democrats, let's spend $2 billion to save $80. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It didn't even work on your Mike's exactly right. It wasn't 200. That's the total population. Well, let's say it was 100 households. It only worked for 75% of the people, so it's only like 75 people, 75 houses. So she only had to buy 75 refrigerators. Or did she buy 200 refrigerators, but it didn't go down on the other ones? Which means your sample group is actually, more people failed. Lord help us. Lord help us. I'm going to look up that address in somebody, because I'm going to look up that address in DeSoto and go there. Waiting for President Trump to come out. He has not come out as of yet. Barry, why do you talk down to the poor? Sorry, sir. I don't talk down to the poor. In fact, I help bring the poor up. What I'm talking down to is Democrats who do nothing but prostrate themselves to the poor in some sort of thinking they're doing some virtue by giving the poor stuff. You see, I come from a place where there were a lot of poor people, and my father was a construction guy. He owned a construction company, came over from Jamaica, figured out he could do some work, ended up getting an investor, and built a construction company. And then we would go in and help the poor people because they lived in Section 8, and then we would help them with, always renovating the apartments or whatever, trying to give them a better life, and then realizing what they were on, but they didn't know it at the time. is that they were on a treadmill. That there was no way to get off of this treadmill. They were strapped on this treadmill, meaning they were always going to be in the same place. They were always going to be poor. There was no way they were going to get off this treadmill because the government had strapped them onto it. So it's not about talking down to poor people, it's talking at poor people, telling them, get your asses off these treadmills. You're doomed if you stay on these treadmills. Don't ask for money, ask for help. And the Democrats at this point have done nothing but try to instill in people's minds, the poor people, that there is no way out. Your goose is cooked. You are going to be on public assistance the rest of your life. And many, 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 many people bought into that, which is how they perpetuate their vote. You see, the idea of welfare and SNAP and food stamps and all that kind of stuff, whatever name you want to call it, was designed to help people during a period of time when they needed help. It was not supposed to be your life's lot. I'm going to be on food stamps for the rest of my life. Wasn't supposed to be that way. I'm going to be on Medicaid and I'm going to be on all these programs the rest of my life. The Democrats, they haven't talked down to the poor. They have bamboozled the poor. They have made it so that the poor don't even know that they're being used. From the time they were giving out government cheese, it's not the people's fault that they were getting handed that cheese. It's the people's fault who never said, okay, I've had enough of your cheese. I'm going to do things my way now. And they don't do that because the education and the government have kept them in there strapped to that treadmill. So if you feel like I'm talking down to the poor, well, you ain't been in my shoes. Robin can come tell you, we were building houses up in West Palm Beach, renovating and doing reconstruction on houses. And we founded an organization out of our own pocket to help people, instead of being on Section 8, be homeowners. We knew the different government programs that nobody talks about that would enable people to go from being a perpetual Section 8 renter to owning your own home. And so we took this woman, I could say girl, but woman, who had a young 6-year-old son, daddy nowhere to be found, but she finally got a job. And she had been at this job for a year. And then she met a guy. And, they came to my office and they said, I saw the information, I'd like to buy a house. And we found out that through a different program, we could get her a mortgage. And we got her a mortgage approved. Day of the closing, she didn't show up. And Robin and I did you talk to her? Yeah, I talked to her. She said what happened? Just no call, no show. Never heard from her. Sorry. So one day, I'm driving. And I go, Robin, is that her? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what happened? You were about to be a homeowner. Your life was about to change. Your son's life was about to change. You know what she said to us? I will never forget it. Her boyfriend said he didn't want her to go through with it because he would lose the benefits. True story. Remember it like it was yesterday. My wife, if she was in here, would tell you, that's a true story. I'm like, what? Yeah, he said that, don't go through it because you couldn't, live in the house because she owned it and get all the other stuff that you were doing. You had to change. I can't do that, man. And I said to her, right there, is that man more important to you? Or is that man more important to you? Pointing to her son. This guy ain't going to be around. He's a hit it and quit it type of dude. That's your son. Well, don't talk about him like that. Well, moral of the story, she stayed on the treadmill. Couldn't help her because this guy was a product of the system and loved the way the system worked, where he didn't have to do anything, and he didn't like the fact that his girlfriend at the time was looking to move up in life. So I'm sorry, Stan, if I took too much time talking about that, but I want to let you know, I have talked to way too many poor people. I have worked in real estate for 30 plus years, seen it all. I've seen grandparents who were taking care of kids because the mother and father were nowhere to be found, and we helped her. I mean, you don't even know some of this. These people didn't even have running water. They were taking baths in the same water that they had poured into the tub because their water wasn't even hooked up to the house. I'm like, you can't live this way. So I've seen it. I've seen this treadmill. So it's not talking down to the poor, it's just the opposite. I will be the poor's biggest advocate. You know somebody poor, you have them get a hold of me. There's no reason, unless you're afflicted, affirmed. I mean, if you have a disability or a sickness or something like that, then that's completely different. That's completely different. If you're disabled and you can't do certain things, not a word. But if you're poor, just because you're poor, there's something wrong with you. So it's not talking down to somebody. It's saying, hey, you got a cold. You have a knee problem. You have an elbow problem. Poor is nothing more than an injury that can be healed. I've tried to tell people that my entire life. Being poor is not a death sentence. Being poor is just like having a bad elbow. Now we just got to rehabilitate it and fix it so it works fine. That's what being poor is. Too many people, like the Democrats, tell you it's somebody else's fault. You can't do that. It's the billionaire's fault. I'm telling you right now, and a man taught me, especially in real estate. Many of you guys may not be in real estate. I'm like, where do I get the money from to do this? Where do I get the money from to do that? And he's like, if the deal makes sense, there's always money. You just need to know how to use it. Sorry. Yeah, I don't talk down to the poor. Nope. Not from what I've lived. Not going to happen. Stan, move on if you can't handle the truth. No, maybe Stan doesn't know. See, that's the other thing. Stan may think his situation is what it is because of where he is. And nobody has said it to him. Dude, you got a knee injury. Fix your knee. It really is that simple. When I go to the doctor, because you guys have seen, I have a tear duct issue. And my tear duct issue is because I stare at a camera or a computer all day. And he's like, you need to take these drops. In between, go ahead and pop these drops in your eye. It'll refresh your tears. That way you're not draining all the time. Fix it. So I go like that. And when I'm off camera, I take the drop. Or it could say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. My eye is always going to tear. It's unfixable. Hey, Barry, I've said this many times. I love blueberry muffins. Until one day the doctor said, yeah, guess what? What? You can't have them anymore. Wait, not even one? Nope. Not the way you eat. I'm like, okay, no more blueberry muffins. And I remember what he said because Robin heard him, and it's what we've done. I've never gone on a diet. I don't even want to use the word diet. What I go on is behavioral changes. And a doctor told me that. He goes, diets will always seem like they have an end. Oh, as soon as I lose 20 pounds, I'm off the diet. He goes, I'll never want you to say that. I want you to change your behavior, and that behavior becomes what you do from now on. You drink a whole bunch of water constantly. Drink water. You walk. You work out. I don't drink. So anyway, that's why I get so fired up when people talk about, you talk down to the poor. No, don't. I'm the wrong one for you to talk about that way. Yeah, lifestyle changes is the only permanent change. Just make smaller muffins. Man, then I'd eat like 20 of them. What tiny town? She was talking about DeSoto, Georgia, which I just showed you. DeSoto, Georgia. All right. Thank you for helping the very man. Barry, I wish I could find someone as generous and kind-hearted and honest as you. I helped someone like me years ago. Baby, you're a good-hearted man. They're out there. They're definitely out there, and that's another problem. Is because if there was a government program that I would endorse, it'd be a program that would show people how to prosper. But nobody wants to hear that program, because the first thing that happens is when you have that prosper type attitude is, this is going to be hard as hell. You are going to have things that you have to do to overcome that are going to require you to do so much. Like even the other day I posted that Nickelback video, rock star. Everybody wants to be a rock star. Well, hey, you know how much work it takes to do this? It looks easy, hitting buttons and everything else, and there are so many people out here doing it now, but you're noticing like a lot of these guys that come off the television network can't do this. They can't relate. They still think they're on stage, and you're not on stage. You're talking to people. All right, so don't want to get too far. I already went too far, but you guys get an idea. So I'm still waiting for Trump to come on from his 3 o'clock executive order signing. We don't have that yet. They still are showing some empty microphones. Like right now, they're showing the White House. So as soon as that comes on, we will take that. All right. So from here, because it looks like we may close the show with Trump. Let me go to what I was that was done usually, but this is my 10 spot. That's the name, Ashley. The 10 spot.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
You said that you have found leakers within DHS and you're going to prosecute them. Back on February 9th, you tweeted, "The FBI is so corrupt. We'll work with any and every agency to stop leaks." Were you wrong then to blame the FBI if the leaks were from within DHS?
No, I think there's leakers all over throughout this government. I think that everybody needs to be, I think these in DHS.
By the way, when you hear the crackling, that's her hair hitting her mic. That's not me. That's her hair. Her long hair is hitting the microphone. But Margaret Brennan, there's something wrong with her. Every time she gets somebody on television, she thinks she's going to get them. I got you with this question.
Specifically, these two were leaking our enforcement operations that we had planned and we're going to conduct in several cities and expose law enforcement to vulnerabilities, to those ops being jeopardized to where their lives would be in danger. So they will be prosecuted and they could face up to 10 years in federal prison because they did that. Anyone who is leaking information outside of how something is planned for the safety of those law enforcement officers needs to be held accountable for that.
And you're going to continue these polygraphing
absolutely
of employees?
The authorities that I have under the Department of Homeland Security are broad and extensive, and I plan to use every single one of them to make sure that we're following the law, that we are following the procedures in place to keep people safe, and that we're making sure we're following through on what President Trump has promised, that he's going to make America safe again.
I want to ask you, border crossings, they're at a 25-year low.
They are. It's fantastic.
There are 6,000 U.S. military personnel working at the border.
Did you notice she didn't answer that or even have a response? Hey, so border crossings are at a 25-year low. Period. You couldn't give them credit for that? You went right on to the next part of your question? Fine, congratulations. You guys have done a fantastic job in a little over 6 weeks. You are to be commended for how you shut it off. Nope. CBS, she just ran right through that stop sign.
Now, that number could go up to 9,000 by the end of the month. How long do you have to keep them there if the numbers are already dropping like this?
You know, we'll continue the partnership with the Department of Defense, but also we've got partnerships with Commerce, with the Attorney General's office. You know, we're working every day with the Secretary of State. We'll keep them there until that border is completely secure and we see all-time record lows of encounters. Our Border Patrol is doing fantastic work, but we're going to keep them there till the whole world gets the message that this isn't Joe Biden's world anymore. This is President Donald Trump's country where we have a border, where we have laws, and it applies equally to everybody. I think that is what is so refreshing, is that we're not picking and choosing winners and losers anymore. Americans have to live by the law. So do those who come to this country. You have to come here legally or there will be consequences.
I don't know why Democrats don't get that. You got to come here through the front door, period. No more sneaking in, no more crossing the Rio Grande, none of that. You got to come to the front door, you got to knock, you got to ask, can I come in? Why is that a hard problem for Democrats to understand? Just do things the right way. They don't want anybody doing things the right way. But now Trump is making them do that.
9.
David Ignatius opening the lead from the Wall Street Journal story front page, the American-sized hole in Ukraine's war effort, written by James Morrison, Alistair McDonald, and Michael Gordon. The Russian army was advancing relentlessly in northeastern Ukraine in the summer of 2022 when the U.S. tipped the scales with new weapons and crucial battlefield intelligence. The superior accuracy and greater range of M777 howitzers supplied by the U.S. hit back against Russia's mostly Soviet-designed artillery. The U.S. intelligence tipped off Ukraine's generals that Russia had moved several battalions to another front. David, the weapons and the intelligence has made all the difference in the world for the Ukrainians. Donald Trump has taken those away now from the Ukrainians and is allowing Vladimir Putin and the Russians to bomb Ukraine endlessly, relentlessly. And, of course, the question, as we were just saying, that hangs over the United States, that hangs over Europe, that hangs over the world, is why? What does your reporting show you?
I don't need any reporting. We're not giving you any more money. That's the answer to the question. Why? Why is it happening? You know, we did it before and we gave them $1 gazillion when Joe Biden was president. But why? Why not now? Well, it's over. Well, I do have a bit of breaking news. Let me show you this. This is kind of important. Okay, let's look at this before Trump comes on.
Another thing, everyone's attacking you for your position. What are you doing in the government? There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Zelensky.
So that's your suspicion. Is the website, is the internet up? Is it up yet?
It's up, yeah.
It's up yet. Okay, good. But I just was looking back. Let me.
Oh, this guy. Unbelievable that he would be involved in something like that. Could you imagine? I mean, at this point, he's involved with this. Oh God! He's got to come over here and he's got to crawl in front of Trump, and Elon Musk is going to be sitting right there in front of him. I'm checking here. No, he hasn't come out yet. Maybe that's why it's so late. Maybe they just got this data and they realize, oops, we shouldn't possibly be talking about this right now because we just found out that Ukraine is behind it. And on top of that, you're trying to take down his company. It says, largest single day drop in Tesla history. September 8th. Okay, let's look here. September 8th, they're going through the different dates, 15% on today. So it dropped. Tesla dropped 15% in value today. And Elon's response was, it will be fine long term. Meaning you can't keep hurting me. I mean, it is what it is. But these people don't get it. Ugh.
Allowing Vladimir Putin and the Russians to bomb Ukraine endlessly, relentlessly. And, of course, the question, as we were just saying, that hangs over the United States, that hangs over Europe, that hangs over the world, is why. What does your reporting show you?
Number 8.
It's too easy to have fun with this, but Michael, this is scary shit, pardon me, on a Sunday morning. In Lindsey Graham there, a United States Senator, you don't joke about that.
Right.
Trump's what, 78, 79 years old? I have no doubt that if Trump could, he would try to run again. I think
this guy is, what's his name? Joe Walsh, another Republican who decided he wanted to follow Michael Steele and be a turncoat idiot. And all he does now at this point on X and everywhere else is just talk trash about Trump. It must be quite profitable to be a Trump hater.
I think, Michael, the biggest failure of all of us during this Trump era has been the failure of imagination. We have not imagined how bad and how low he'd go. He tried to overthrow an American election 4 years ago. I have no doubt that he could try to stop the midterm elections. If he's physically able, he may try to run again in 28. This is really scary.
I'm not afraid. It's really scary. And you know how you can tell you're not watching news? When you see someone on television and as they're talking and they say, it may, it could, it might, I think. When you hear those words being spoken, you should know right away, click, I'm not watching news. Well, I think he did. It might turn out. So you don't know anything. That's what you just said. You spent a couple of minutes, however long you were in MSNBC, and you're like, I got nothing.
Number 7.
Of a contentious cabinet meeting. The New York Times is now reporting that President Trump has made it clear he wants to keep both Steve Bannon and Elon Musk, along with their allies, within the MAGA movement. At the same time, the White House is saying that President Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Elon Musk had dinner together last night at Mar-a-Lago. Can all sides coexist? I mean, do you see them all getting along?
Pretty sure this guy who's going to answer this question has not sat down with Steve Bannon, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump, but he's going to give his opinion anyway. You see, this is what I said was going to happen. When you've got certain people, which I call the MAGA Confederates, out there bitching on X, talking about Elon Musk and H-1Bs and all this crap that they talked about for months, and now they're out there doing the same thing about Pam Bondi and everything. You're giving the Democrats an in. They are lockstep, almost to the point of zombie-ish lockstep. They don't fracture. Why are we fracturing? Well, we fracture because, I don't know, do people need those types of interactions, engagements? We need to stay solid. We need to keep together as galvanized as the Democrats are. Do I believe and like everything that Laura Loomer says? Nope. But I'm not going to go out there and post something against her. Do I like and believe everything that Candace Owens says? Nope. But you'll never see me post something going, oh, Candace is an idiot. And the same thing with Steve Bannon. All I want to say is, can you guys get it together? Seriously, can we not air all this kind of dirty laundry out in public so the Democrats can use it on their Sunday morning shows? So they can clip it and say, look what Candace and Laura are doing. Or look at what Steve Bannon and Musk are. Can we not do that? Especially right now, with all the forces working against us. They're out here trying to take down networks. They're doing everything, in case you guys didn't know this, they're doing everything to manipulate the stock market. You are in the midst, again, of a civil war that includes a massive psyop. They are going to try and whatever they can do to gaslight you. Oh, look at the stock market's falling through the roof. I mean, throw them through the cellar. Meanwhile, they've got puts and calls and doing all kinds of things with stocks that you don't even know what they're doing to manipulate it. It is so easy to manipulate a stock. When you've got trillions available, especially if it's not your money, you can sell it and move it over here. And it looks like, it looks like that just crapped the bed right now. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. Stock market doesn't look good. Let's move it over here. Just so it can look bad for Trump. And so, these idiots can get on television. Here, speaking of idiots, let's listen into this.
Nutritional assistance for children and families and veterans benefits. It is not something we could ever support. House Democrats will not be complicit in the Republican effort to hurt the American people. Catherine Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. We have a new bill, but it's the same betrayal of the American people. This is all part of the same scheme, the same crime spree that we are seeing that steals deserving taxpayer dollars, and all to give a tax cut to the very wealthiest people in this country. In this bill, there are also very specific harm will be done. 32,000 families that will lose affordable housing projects that will be halted.
Projects.
Our veterans who rely on the PACT Act funding because they were exposed to toxins while serving our country.
Realize she's saying this while probably wearing, $30,000, $40,000 worth of jewelry.
Rolling back research across the country, in this bill, Alzheimer's research is zeroed out. 7 million people in this country are diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and the impact on our economy and families like mine, I lost my mom to that disease, is devastating. So why do this? It's all part of the same plot. To give Elon and the billionaire class a tax break at the expense of what families in this country need. We are not going to let them take their health care, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, in order to betray American families at home. Pete Aguilar.
House Democrats want to support a bill that protects Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. We want to protect our communities. We want to ensure health care for veterans. This bill doesn't do that. It takes away veterans' health care. It takes away critical research funding. Those are the things that House Republicans are willing to do just to give Elon Musk and Donald Trump's friends continued tax breaks. That's unacceptable to House Democrats. We want to support a bipartisan piece of legislation. If House Republicans want to support real legislation that helps American families, and they want to do it in a bipartisan way, all they have to do is call Leader Jeffries and work with House Democrats. But they have so far been unable and unwilling to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Leader,
thank you.
Right, House Democrats.
All right, so they're so full of it. Here's what the problem is, and they realize it at this point, that if they shut the government, and just be prepared in the next couple of days, be prepared for the government to shut down, because they want to shut it down, because at that point it takes 60 votes to reopen. And the Republicans at that point are going to cave. They will absolutely cave. It's disgusting how this politics works. It's crazy. SV, or who just sent me a link? Okay. SV says Rumble and X are now both working. And breaking news: $1 trillion in savings per Elon. Let me see if I can pull this in. Wait 1 second. Okay, he just put up a post. All right, so Elon dropped some big news, but I'll let the 10 play while we're waiting for me to download this.
Yeah, I think this Musk-Bannon dispute is a underappreciated fracture in the current GOP. Look, Steve Bannon has been a foot soldier for Donald Trump. He went to jail for Donald Trump for a really long time. And I think he is understandably deeply skeptical of Elon Musk, who was not even really a close ally of Donald Trump the first time around and sort of came out of nowhere and has really stolen the spotlight. Let's remember, Steve Bannon was a close advisor in the White House the first time around. And I think he has real questions about what Elon Musk is up to. We know that Trumpism is sort of anti-immigrant, nationalist, and it's not clear that Elon Musk shares any of those views. Now, Donald Trump needs both of those people. I think he likes what Elon Musk is doing. But if Steve Bannon keeps railing against him, I think that there's a real fracture that could happen here because, look, Steve Bannon has been through this. He has the real, credibility with the MAGA movement. So unless that...
Does he? Are you willing to turn your back on Elon Musk and Trump because Steve Bannon is the most credible person? These people are begging. They are begging to stir stuff up, to cause issues. That's what they thrive on, this stuff. It's sickening.
These two can get on the same page. I expect Trump's going to have to keep intervening.
Number 6.
In response to the cuts, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is calling on Democrats to vote no on the stopgap bill. If all Democrats vote against the measure, Speaker Johnson will only be able to afford to lose one vote, as Republican Congressman Thomas Massey of Kentucky has already said he plans to vote no on the package. President Trump, for his part, is ramping up a pressure campaign on Republicans, writing on social media, quote, all Republicans should vote yes next week. Great things are coming for America, and I am asking you all to give us a few months to get through to September so we can continue to put the country's financial house in order. Claire McCaskill, are great things on the way, especially with the economy?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the messaging here is a little muddled for the Democrats because it's very important that Democrats don't stand in the way of cutting wasteful spending. But the way these guys are doing it...
Bingo. See, America has turned. America's opened their eyes. There's so much that the people at DOGE are exposing that it's becoming just overwhelming for them to try and get people to avert their eyes. And I'm going to show you something. SV just said something about how much more they're refining. You just heard Marco Rubio talk about 83, billions dollars he found, and former Senator Collins, Rep. Collins said about he found $100 gazillion. Every time they turn and look at some program, it's hundreds of billions of dollars. And average everyday Americans are like, you fighting this? Are you seriously going to fight cutting these things? And all you have is to lie and tell people you're not going to get Social Security, you're not going to get Medicaid. The other guy who posted here, Barry White, he talked down to the poor because poor doesn't make you stupid. I don't talk down to the poor. I'm saying open your damn eyes. These people are talking down to you. How many times do you need to hear nobody is taking away your Social Security, your Medicaid, all that kind of crap? Being poor does not equate stupidity.
They're not cutting fat. They're basically breaking bones of government service to America. And it is so haphazard. It is so without merit. It is so unfair. And people are going to start feeling it. That's a separate issue than whether or not they're going to pass this continuing resolution that basically pushes the ball down the field, doesn't do anything really except extend current funding. And here's the other problem the Democrats have. If they end up being the reason that the government shuts down, that muddles their message.
What message? Okay, I mean, I'm looking right here and they are screaming on television because of the Colombian kid that got arrested, and they're screaming because $400 million came off of the budget for Colombia because they let the kid scream. What's your message? Because that's just it. You don't have one. And it's now March, and your only message is we're here to oppose Donald Trump. That's it.
In fact, it's the Trump administration that is trying to shut down your government services like Social Security, like Medicaid, like veterans benefits. So I predict, like all other CR drama, that they will pass a CR this week, and they will continue the current levels of government funding till September. But then the train wreck comes, Mika. Then they have to cut Medicaid to give rich people a tax cut. And people don't realize what Medicaid does. I think people have in their mind Medicaid is just for poor people in the cities. The majority of people, there are more people on Medicaid in rural America than urban America. And children, almost 40% of the children in America are getting funding from Medicaid and Children's Health Insurance Program, which
talked about this yesterday. In other words, what you're saying is these programs are Band-Aids. If 40% of children are on these entitlement programs, then you're not fixing the problem. The problem is the parents can't afford their doggone kids. Nobody's addressing that. You're either not employed or you're woefully underemployed. In any event, you're making me and you pay for the kids. 40%? Seriously? 40% of children are on Medicaid. And meanwhile, you've got these people screaming bloody murder out here, and they look like they just walked out of a Cesar Chavez meeting. I mean, here, listen in on this.
Indeed, a member of the Institute of Israel and Jewish Studies at Columbia University. And the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil is deeply concerning and reminded me of the unlawful way the Israeli military treats Palestinians in the occupied territories. In the West Bank, the Israeli military often comes at night and abducts Palestinians from their home, wrongly alleging that political activists are members of a terrorist organization. As an Israeli American, I'm extremely troubled that such practices have been imported to the United States and manifest themselves on our campus.
I don't get it with these people. They just think they should be able to do anything. Somebody asked me about, what about a kid on cancer? I should put my scroll on the bottom, put the big asterisk and say, nothing to do with kids or adults who are in need because of medical or mental issues. God, nobody wants to see a kid not be taken care of if they're sick. I'm talking about these idiots that are complaining about everything. They don't want nothing to do with this country. So they're tearing it apart from within. And the Democrats in the media have no problem helping them.
which is part of the Medicaid program. So that's where you're really going to see a problem for the Republicans, because they're going to basically take a knife to the very areas that put them in the White House and in Congress.
Number 5.
Look, Social Security won't be touched, other than if there's fraud or something. We're going to find it's going to be strengthened, but won't be.
How many times does he have to say it? I clipped those together because how many times does he have to say it? Well, that's where you come in. That's where you have to begin letting people know the Democrats are lying. The Democrats are lying. How do you know they're lying, Barry? Well, here. Well, he's lying. Well, then you got a problem. If you think the president's lying, and if you can find any documentation anywhere in any plan or any bill where they said they're cutting services, please do show me. And you could ask that of your Democrat friends. Can you show me where it says he's going to cut Medicaid and all these different programs? Ask them to show you. Don't just let it flow out of their mouths. Make them prove it to you. Jeez.
Touch Medicare, Medicaid. None of that stuff is going to be touched.
Nothing.
You don't have to. Now, if there are illegal migrants in the system, we're going to get them out of the system and all of that fraud. But it's not going to be touched. We're
right?
going to have growth like you've never seen before.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you said that.
We're going to have growth. I'm not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Now, we're going to get fraud out of there. You know, you see where I talk about it all the time. We have people 250 years old and all, you know, tremendous fraud. But that has nothing to do with that. We're going to get the fraud out, and everybody wants us to get the fraud out, and therefore you'll make it better. But we're going to have tremendous growth. When you look at all of the car companies that are now coming into the United States, and they've been announcing, like on a daily basis, they're going to build their plants, and they're going to create tremendous numbers of jobs, and so many other things. And I'm doing something else that I think is very exciting. Maybe I'm wrong. A gold card. For $5 million, you buy a path to citizenship in this country. We'll see. I believe that Apple and all these companies that can't get people to come out of college and come because they get thrown out. Think of it. You graduate number one at the Wharton School of Finance or Harvard or Stanford, and you get thrown out of the country. You can't stay more than one day. And they want to hire these people, but they can't. They've complained to me about it. Now they can buy a gold card, and they can take that gold card and make it a part of their deal to get these top students. No different than an athlete, like a bonus. It's a signing bonus. And you're going to have a lot of people buy that. You're going to have a lot of companies buying gold cards. So for $5 million now, it's a lot of money when you add it up if we sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
If we don't, it's nothing ventured, nothing lost. But I think it's going to be very successful. You can't get a green card. A green card, this would be a green card on steroids. This would be much better than a green card.
See, the Democrats don't like that either. Oh, it's just going to be for rich people. No, it's for self-sufficient people. Why would we bring in people from another country that you and I have to then pay for? Why would we bring people in who are basically going to be, I won't use a bad word, but a blight upon American society? Why not bring in people who can take care of themselves? Nobody ever wants to talk about that. It's not. Is it classist? Yeah. But if you're coming into our country, shouldn't we want the best people to come in? I don't want to see the entitlement program swell to the point where we're having to take care of immigrants. My dad came in way back ago. He didn't go on any public assistance. Why do we want to bring on people who need the government in order to survive? Doesn't make any sense.
Just got back to the Capitol. Another day, another lie from these people who are out of control. I'm told that Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the extreme MAGA Republicans are claiming that Democrats are sending paid protesters into their town hall meetings. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? You don't need to send paid protesters into your town hall meetings. The American people are with us all across the country. People are rising up to push back against the assault on the economy, the assault on hard-working families, the assault on our democracy, and the assault on Medicaid. We don't need paid protesters, bro. The American people are with us.
The one thing you can say about the Democrats, they're good. They're good about putting that messaging out there. They're good about speaking to, as obviously he was looking to speak to, hood rats. Bro. Bro. The Jasmine Crockett's of the world. Low IQ. And again, he threw in there at the end, Medicaid. So if you think, or if anybody thought I was talking down to poor people, every time these people open their mouth, they're the ones who are talking down to poor people. They're telling these people, that's all you got in life is us. We're the Democrats. We keep you fed. We keep you this. We keep you that. We'll keep giving you money. Just keep voting. And never get off that treadmill. It's not me talking down to the poor. I'm saying aspire. Shoot for the top. And they're like, yeah, they're going to take away your Medicaid, bro.
Number 3.
That we know would probably just be dismissed in court. They're trying to settle these cases in order to funnel money to Elon Musk. They're trying to buy up all of the Trump coins and crypto assets in order to funnel that money to Donald Trump. It's not just that Trump is corrupt, it's that everyone participating in this is corrupt.
So if you own crypto, if you own gold, you're corrupt. Okay. She just laying it out there for, she's like Jenny from the block, letting you know it's just corrupt at the core and it's just going in Elon's pocket and Trump's pocket. So if you go ahead and buy crypto, it's for him.
Elon is corrupt. Jeff Bezos is corrupt. Mark Zuckerberg is corrupt in participating in this scheme that we all know. Everyone's just trying to look the other way because who really cares, right? And it's this idea of cynicism. It's this idea that no one cares about fairness anyway. No one cares about the rules anyway. So who cares if we break them? But at the end of the day, once again, who suffers? It's the 8-year-old kids with devastating autism diagnoses.
Number 2.
Imagine waking up every morning and just saying to yourself, you know what? I got to spend all day lying. Everything I say to everybody I come across, I have to lie. Because nobody's going to buy what I'm selling if I don't lie. And that's what the Democrat Party is at this point. Again, what's your message? Your message is that Donald Trump and the richest man of the world need your money. They're going to steal your money, and then they're going to let kids get medical care. That's what this party is reduced to. I mean, it's basically been reduced to here. Still looking. He hasn't come out yet. Let me just check another feed, make sure what they're doing. Nope, no video, no feed as of yet. So we'll continue. Let me run this out. Man, these people, it's like a comedy show.
But for me, it's like, let the local community figure this out, right? In Michigan, we have a process in place.
So one of the new narratives that came out that they started to test is that they no longer can talk about Transformers. We're not going to let Transformers be done at the federal level because Trump's, he's doing stuff. So how do we change our messaging? All right, let's all agree and all go out on all the Sunday shows and say, oh, the states are going to take care of it. Nobody's going to notice except that Barry guy.
Where if someone who's born a boy wants to play in women's sports, you have to get a waiver. We've had it happen 2 times.
That we want to make sure that these decisions are made by the communities, by the schools and others that are the ones closest to us, and then understand what we know is that we're talking about a handful of people, a handful of athletes.
Every young person, and I want those sports to be fair, I want those sports to be safe. And I have confidence that local schools and local communities can make those decisions without the federal government making them for them.
Oh, how they have changed their tune. Before, it was, we need to make sure it was part of a mandate and shove it down your throat. Now it's like, hey, we're confident that the local people can handle it. Why is it that the guys who are pushing this always look like, they might be? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right, one more for you.
This is why so many people are so mad about it, because they're just taking opportunity away.
In case you don't know who this is Randy Weingarten. She's the president or leader of the National Teachers Association, which Trump is about to, maybe today's bill that he's supposed to sign might be the end of the Department of Education. Since they've now announced it, it's coming. There's no doubt about it. We are shredding and dismantling the Department of Education. She realizes right now the wheels are about to come off. What do you mean? That all that money, that we charge teachers who don't really perform, who, the kids are still stupid, but we just keep passing them anyway, because really we're not really teachers, we're like little bankers. We just take as much money as possible. And it's a shame because there are so many good teachers, but they have no power or say-so because the rest of the union is doing everything they can just to pass these kids and just to take money. And she's wigging. I mean, she's pissed.
From kids that don't have it. So billionaires, kids of billionaires, they have it. They go to private schools. Everyone else, 90%, go to public schools. Don't take away their opportunity.
So let's stay on the facts.
Sorry.
No,
I'm really angry about this.
No, because this is what
really
people
angry.
need to hear.
I taught kids in Clara Barton High School in Brooklyn, New York.
And if you went to Brooklyn, New York at that same school, you'd probably see it almost in the same condition. Maybe they put a new roof on it. Maybe they built a new school, but the kids still can't read. Why is that, Randy? Why is it that we are at the bottom, yet we're at the top in terms of per capita? Tell me why. She can't. And, you know, something that happened and got revealed today, which I've been telling y'all down here, Ron DeSantis kicking some serious butt. Ron DeSantis breaking the 2025 state rankings have been released by U.S. News and World Report. Number 1 in economy? Yeah, that's right here. Number 1 in education? Yeah, that's right here. We've got to give Ron DeSantis... Man has done a fantastic job governing this state. No complaints whatsoever. We're about to see some prosperity like we haven't seen in quite some time here. I mean, it's going to be time. Mortgage rates are dropping. It's going to be a good spring and summer here in South Florida. Okay, somebody, Nick Sortor, just says, if it turns out that the Ukrainian government played any role in the DDoS attack against X today, there must be hell to pay, because that means they used our tax dollars to attack an American company. Nick, you got to read between the lines there, bro. You got to read between the lines. You see, if it was Ukraine that had anything to do with that cyber attack, it may have been launched in Ukraine. It may have been paid for by United States dollars, but it was probably, as General Flynn said, us, the CIA, doing their darndest to take down X. Yeah, they don't care if they use a Ukrainian IP and all that stuff. They don't care that they're using our money. They're shielding themselves, and you'll never know who did it. They may have... Elon will find out. He'll find out for sure. So I can't tell you what is the holdup here. I know maybe because I can't tell you. I won't speculate. But I have one more piece I want you guys to see here. I started this off by telling you everything that's going on or has gone on with X today, and how, you know, we are in a civil war. And I want to show you exactly what I mean. Who is out there doing some of this stuff? What kind of people are riling and working to hurt us? Anarchists, complete chaos agents. Listen to this dude.
You need to sell your Tesla. I'm not going to warn you again, okay? Those of us in the resistance are not going to stand for these hate mobiles driving around providing free advertising for the man who has subverted our democracy and spread disinformation and hate speech and supported the fascist takeover of our government, and who has taken the food from the mouths of millions of people around the world.
I'm telling you, man, these people are crazy. Absolutely bat poop crazy. Because we've taken food out of the mouths of people around the world.
By destroying U.S. aid, and has betrayed Vladimir Zelensky. That is how serious this is. And you continue to pre-order these Teslas, you continue to drive and charge these cars that are making this man, Elon Musk, more and more powerful, infinitely powerful. That is not okay. It's not okay. We are sending the Tesla stock to zero. Zero, Elon. We're sending your company to zero. This time next year, Tesla might not even exist. That is how serious we are about resisting this company and showing the world what it means to support Tesla. This is about good versus evil. These cars are not okay.
Yeah. They think they're good. These people who are resisting, I can't tell you what they're resisting against. Blame the media. Blame the media for all of this. At the same time, we're talking here, now a judge has come in and said that the guy can't be deported. It's crazy.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Professor Sonia Posmentier, who's Associate Professor of English at New York University, and she's here to represent the Sanctuary Campus Network.
Sanctuary Campus Network. So we're talking about another NGO and who's gotten money, and now they've got some activist judge that says this guy can't be deported. Civil war, people. I mean, these people are walking around.
So I'm here in solidarity with my colleagues at Barnard and Columbia, and in
these people are walking through an American city. They've got, you recognize the garb in terms of the sweaters and stuff wrapped around their heads. It's how a judge would stop somebody from being deported is beyond me. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. This is like it's not America.
The U.S. and Canada.
And then you find out where did she come from? The Hamas or Us shop or whatever. Where'd they get their money from? Don't be afraid. Be prepared. Be absolutely prepared. I don't think Trump is coming on. So the thing is, I think I've got an interview tonight. I may have to reschedule that at this point, Ashley. Oh, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Because don't know what Trump is doing. And let me show you something else SV sent me here at the end of the show.
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress, actually. So our savings at this point exceed $4 billion a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very significant.
You think you'll wind up getting to $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Of savings?
I mean, unless we're stopped, we will get to $1 trillion of savings.
And that stuff can be.
All right, so that video is very low. That's one of the problems when you bring stuff in. But I can show you what he has been saying. This is what he was talking about. Elon just exposed even more fraud in the federal government. 20 million dead people are listed as alive in the Social Security database, and they're cashing checks. Hundreds of millions of dollars in SBA loans have been paid out to people under 11 years old. The people who have lied and covered this up are criminals. You're seeing the fabric of this country being torn apart. Completely torn apart. When you're seeing these numbskulls out here screaming in the street, this is not what America is supposed to be. They don't want it, and the judges don't want it. They want to destroy America. You need to be prepared. Do whatever you need to do, but I'm telling you, this is going to crazy town very quickly. Here, check these out some more.
It's taking us backward, creating restrictions on what we can study and how we can collectively transform university spaces. But let's be clear, it's not that our universities cannot make themselves sanctuary to all students. It's that they will not, as Columbia University has shown us most dramatically by enabling the detention of Mahmoud Khalil this weekend. So while faculty and students continue to push our administrations, we've also been building sanctuary among ourselves, because it's not just something we demand, it's something we have to make. And because of how important we are to each other, I want to acknowledge that we're living in a time of great fear. and to take a minute to acknowledge the courage of Mahmoud Khalil and all our students who are protesting against genocide in the face of this fear. And to ask that those of us who are faculty and have power and privilege to do so stand with them and take on some of that risk with them. The poet June Jordan, Barnard alumna, identified this courage when she addressed Columbia students sitting outside the steps of Hamilton Hall, which they had renamed Mandela Hall, in 1985, protesting South African apartheid. She said to them, "And that is what you, the students of Columbia, say to all Americans as you sustain this protest. Fear of reprisals stops here with my body. Tyrannical rule and tyrannical force stops here with my body. Reprisals may come, tyranny may continue, but tyrannical rule and tyrannical force will have to deal with me, with my body, with my open and speaking big mouth, as long as I am alive." And it's in this spirit that we organize across the U.S. and Canada now to demand to become sanctuary campuses. Sanctuary campus means the end of war and occupation of Palestine. It means no ICE on or around our campus. It means no threats of deportation against international students, faculty, and staff. Sanctuary campus means we can critically study systems of oppression, including racism, colonialism, heteropatriarchy, and transmisogyny. It means college should be free. Sanctuary campus means we try to build a free and just world by dismantling our campus's complicity in war and oppression. And sanctuary campus means we keep us safe. Free Mahmoud Khalil.
I don't even know what she just said. All right, so it doesn't look like President Trump is going to come. I'm going to jump here so I can try to get on later and see if I can't have that video. Yeah, I'm not scared. Don't be scared. Just be ready. Just be ready. Lying Democrats, absolutely. What a crock of crap. Yeah, you're seeing it. You're seeing it firsthand. This insanity that these people are spewing out to people in America. Meanwhile, Trump is trying to make the country good for us and better. I guess one of the best things that happened today was they went ahead and removed Black Lives Matter Plaza from Washington and tore that down. But other than that, this is New York City. And good luck. Andrew Cuomo, I guess, is going to be trying to run for office there. Good luck. I don't want to live someplace like that. I'm so glad we don't have that crap here. I'm so glad. Keep it in New York. I'm happy with that. All right, so I'm going to, at this point, Monica released another schedule. She said that Trump was supposed to sign at 3 p.m. and he's supposed to do a swearing in at 5. The swearing in of Sean Curran has taken place. They posted videos on X, but there's nothing anywhere in terms of any videos about Trump. So you guys have been fantastic. I'm going to right now start looking at super chats because this was nuts. It went on so long. We waited, but I had some stuff to talk to you guys about, which is fine with me. And let's see. So, I like the fact that X is now working. Until the next time, that's for sure. All right, so let me go ahead and get ready to read the super chats. Thank you very much. I'm going to try. I know sometimes you guys like, well, Barry, what time you come? I'm not sure tonight. I mean, it's already 5:42 by the time I'm done here and eat. I'm going to try and get on tonight, but I will post it on X. Put it that way. If everything works well, I'll post it on X. All right. Fazul, God bless, and God bless one and all. Yes, thank you. Buddy Sanders, thanks for your hard work. Thank you, buddy. Beverly Litton, get Soros and son out of here. Exactly. Uniquely written. You've spoiled me. I look forward to hearing from you daily. Thank you for all you do. You will. I mean, we're going to, like I said, 12 o'clock every single. Today was weird. Today was weird because, let me just explain to you why today was weird. I was prepared to go on at 1 p.m. And then Twitter and Rumble both went, eh. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I can't get on either network. So I had to jump around and just go with YouTube only today, which is fine. So when I test afterwards, if 8 o'clock works, if I can find, everything's working okay, then I'll go tonight. Beverly Litton, the satanic spirits are on attack. Yeah. Ono Ma, award-winning documentary, The Coming Convergence, goes into a lot of what we are seeing currently on Prime. I'll look that up. Coming Convergence. Violka Jackson, strange Facebook or beta was not affected or here. Jen E, Barry, when you were explaining boat collision, I got a visual of Austin Powers scene with the steamroller. Prayers to the family of those lost, yes. Black Yellow Flash, legacy media outlets are appeasing their uninformed audiences, similar how they handle election polls. These sources can't be trusted as they prioritize pacifying their base over real reporting. That is so true. They just lie. Carrie Coates, love your show. Thank you. Beverly Litton, Elon was supposedly going after Marco for his bots making cuts. Maybe Elon found bad actors in Marco's staff. All the Dems voted for Marco, right? Every single one. Violka Jackson, Barry, worry about the astronaut sabotage. That could be rough. Beverly Litton, oops, never mind. Ron Kincaid, thank you. Joyce Taylor, I converted 1098 CD into silver. Very nice, very nice. Fazul, Soros was the media beard to distract. Exactly. It was our money. It was all our money. CR, where are the people that got so-called appliances? You mean a whole 214? 214 total people in a whole town. Yep. Planet Fatness. My wife from Missouri says she would rather freeze than wear my Cubs jacket during the winter months. Carrie Coates, Barry, you give me so much truth. I can't wait for your show every day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shale Ramos, stand the stealing in the name of the poor. Yeah, they are. Penny Corridor, you would think they would regret staying on the treadmill now, but they're probably blaming Trump instead of Democrats. No, it's a matter of comfort. I mean, when you think about it, people have been on the treadmill and they've been taken care of their entire adult life. Stepping off that treadmill and realizing there's nothing coming if you don't make it. Unless you get out there and make the meal come, meaning you get paid, you go to the store, and you don't eat. I think that's something biblical, isn't it? Man don't work, man don't eat. I'm pretty sure it says that. It's funny how a lot of people will quote at me, money is the root of all evil. Like, you forgot something there. You forgot a big word when you say that. It's the love of money. Just say that. I ain't in love with money. Jeremiah Kerr, if any of y'all haven't looked into, ask Barry about the NACA loan for home ownership. No one wants us to know about it. There are so many loan programs for mortgages. I mean a ton. Did you know that there's a loan program? Oh boy, what we got going on here? Oh boy. Hold on. We got some craziness going on. Wait a second here.
News right now in New York City here as this protest march now getting violent. Let's just listen in as New York police trying to separate some of these protesters.
This isn't good. They've got these cops surrounded. Wow. That's not me. They cut the feed, but we can still see it. So they cut their audio, but you can still see what's going on. This isn't good. Those cops are surrounded. Oh my goodness. I don't like to see this. These cops are surrounded. Ooh, this isn't good at all. They're outnumbered and surrounded.
All right, we will continue to.
Wow. Still don't think we're in a civil war? You think it's Barry just overreacting? Nah, I don't think so. Man, there's some crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff. So Jeremiah was talking about. I cut off when he was talking, and he was referring to a loan program called the NACA loan. There are also other loan programs out there. I think it's a 203A or 203B, which is multifamily. Imagine this. You buy a house. It's a duplex. You live in one side. Somebody else lives in the other side. They're paying you rent. And sometimes, depending on where you are and what you bought the property for, they could basically pay your mortgage or a good portion thereof. I mean, that kind of house hacking is how a lot of people are getting their feet wet in the real estate market. Buy a duplex someplace, fix it up, rent out one side, live in the other. Way to go. You're exactly right, Jeremiah. Condition bias. Remember this, B20s and 50s. You can stand on the corner giving away 20s, and there'll always be someone asking why you're not giving away 50s. You're doing good, Jim. Keep up the work. Thank you very much. The Honorable Leslie Abrams Gardner, Democrat appointed judge. Did you know? Mr. Anderson. General Flynn thinks we should look at the CIA. Yep. Tara York. Thank you, Barry. You work hard. Your butt off as fanfare is a main news source. Thank you. You have a way of helping things make more sense and put them in perspective. God bless. Love the 10. Favorite part of the show. Well, thank you very much. You know, depending on like 8 o'clock, I may have to make that the whole show because if I have enough time to cut today. Ruth McCurdy, my Trump knife arrived today. We live in the mountains. I will use it daily. It's awesome. Great. Awesome. Jeremiah Kerr, Democrat equal Pharisee. Job for 9. If what they were saying was true, they would show it in black and white. Yep. Hey, here they're going to take away your Medicaid. Nope, can't find it. The Democrat-induced Tourette syndrome did so strong today. God help my wife. Jeremiah, postmodern thought. As per Eric Erickson, you have one truth. You have truth and our truth. Power is all that matters because when you have power, you control the vocabulary. So very true. Mr. Anderson again, 70% DOE goes into admin, 30% goes for education. Department of Education is just messed up at the core. Gail Gabble, Randy Weingarten. Randy Weingarten makes $495,000 a year. That's all? I thought it'd be higher. Where's Fernando? Fernando, he kind of went fast. Fernando, Barry, how about a new button? Trump clearly saying, won't touch it. Really? Got to keep playing. Every time they say it, we're not touching Social Security. Yeah, really. Born on the 4th. Here's an idea. Require the libnuts and wackos to do lie detectors every time they speak. They'd be finished in no time. Cutting edge. In only 45 days, this 4 years are going to be good. Yeah, all of this is happening. They're talking about spring break prices right now. And only 45 days is 4 years. Yeah, just in 45 days. And they're freaking out. Keith Hamilton, DeSoto has 119 people in 2024. So it went down. It went down in population. I had it at 240 or something like that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Myrna Nacino, thank you. Lloyd B., I grew up poor, which inspired me to do a $90,000 a year job. Being poor sucks. Yeah. You ever hear people say this statement, and it just drives me crazy? You forget where you came from. Those of you who came from meager beginnings, you probably heard that statement a lot. You forget where you came from. And I remember just telling people, I will never, ever, ever forget where I came from. You know why? Because I never, ever, ever want to go back. So to know that, hey, listen, you need to do things this way. Uh-oh, they got people showing down here in Fort Lauderdale. In order to make sure that you don't go back to that this is what you have to do. Don't do this because you could be this again. So I don't ever, ever, ever forget where I came from because I don't ever, ever, ever want to go back. Nope. Mm-mm. Mike Aranda, false flag and works at that protest. That looked really dangerous. Those cops were surrounded. Eaters of Dead, 100 packs of earplugs. Make sure you have some. U.S. ship military jet fuel rammed today. Oh, that's what that was. The oil tanker was jet fuel. I did not know that. Did not know that at all. Interesting. Very interesting. I grew up poor rich. I know the saying. I take a shot every time they say Medicare. That's too funny. God has more ideas. Exactly, Barry. God has more ideas for Trump. Let's see here. 7 weeks and 201 more weeks to go. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, unbelievable times. You are absolutely right, Kelly. Unbelievable times. Just stay on, just remember, we've got God on our side. These people are nuts. They are absolutely nuts. All right, so it's just about 6 o'clock. I don't see anything coming from Trump. And again, I understand from Monica, just to let you know, and Monica said something here. Where was it? The executive order today was about disaster relief. So it wasn't that the big Department of Education. So we're not missing anything per se. So I'm gonna just go ahead and play the. I forgot to do this. Hey, if you'd like to join 15,000 plus fellow patriots on X in our private X/Twitter group, go to fanfareshop.org/group. Just put in that URL in your browser. It'll take you right to our private group on X. Love to see you there. Let's share some content. And if you'd like to win a hoodie, or rather if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org, fanfareshop.org, and register to win a Trump hoodie.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so I was telling you about the executive order Monica actually posted. She said President Trump's executive order will sign today will be in regards to disaster relief. It will reportedly put states and local jurisdictions in the driver's seat of catastrophe response. So not a major one, but nonetheless obviously important by putting the states in charge. These knuckleheads are still walking down the streets of New York, just wreaking havoc. I don't know where we're going to go with all this stuff. Who knows? All right, in any event, I'm getting ready to play the after party. Thank you guys for coming on today and listening to me with all the crap that happened. And we were able to get the show done. That's the big thing. We were able to get through it completely. And thank you guys for hanging out. Again, I'm going to do some research and see if I can get to X fluidly and see if Rumble's still working. If everything's fine, then we might have to do a later show tonight, but we will see. In any event, I also have some videos dropping that were pre-recorded. So I'll talk to you guys real soon.